What's up, everyone? And we are live for another Who Are They Real Talk. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me in the theater tonight is the one and the only Chris, the personality Lopez.
Yes, sir. Back at it again for another Real Talk. Happy Valentine's Day, Matt.
Yeah, that's the Happy Valentine's Day. This may be your favorite episode ever because you just get to gush about one of your.
Dude, like honestly, like the back half of this is gonna be me just talking about all my favorite movies of the last 20 years. So it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, but we're not alone in the theater.
Damn
Coming
right.
back for her second appearance on Real Talk is the lovely Lucia.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
How's it going?
It's our first time on camera. I missed the last part. Yeah.
Oh, together?
Yeah.
He wasn't on last time.
He was not on. I did remember that. I wasn't just not paying attention.
Yeah, the episode would have been like an hour longer if I was there. So it's probably for the better.
This should be interesting. I'm hearing a lot about you, Chris, and I feel like we're going to have a lot to talk about together.
Hopefully it's all good things. It is sweet. All right. Well, damn, let's talk movies. I'm excited.
Yeah. But before we talk movies, just a little bit of reminders going into this week. If you haven't checked it out already, or checked them out already, I should say, be sure to check out our real reviews of, I'm just waiting for the graphic load, The Mauritanian.
Oh, I want to see that.
It's I did the real review for this. I would go into more detail here, but I want you to watch the review. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. Just you guys should all check this out. That's what I'll say. And then the other real review we have is Judas and the Black Messiah. So excited. It's finally out. Cleveland shot. Gotta love Cleveland. So yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah. Check it out.
I'm looking forward to both of those.
Me too.
Got what I was watching. And it was about Jodie Foster. She was talking about the Mauritanian. I'm like, like I might have to check this out. Bendy Cumberbundy's in it. I gotta watch my man Bendy Cumberbundy. And then Judas and the Black Messiah.
Cleveland.
Daniel Kaluuya has been getting a lot of love for that movie, so I feel like I have to. I have to. And it's on HBO Max on our HBO Maxes, which is awesome.
You got it for about a month.
I'll watch it when
28 days more.
Cool team. I'll definitely watch it, but damn it, it still hurts. I can't go to the theater to see. Well, I can, but I shouldn't.
You just don't want to.
Should not.
Yeah, it's a freaking what?
Just like.
Go ahead.
I was like, just like bars are open, you shouldn't go to them.
Right. As much as I'm like, no, like it. Hopefully we all get vaccinated by the summer. We're all partying by the end of it. So hoping for the best.
That's because Chris wants to go to the club and come back to Cleveland, so he can go to the club that has an outdoor pool.
Of course I do.
And what? An outdoor porch?
Pool.
There's
a club in downtown Cleveland called Forward that has a pool.
Like to dive into or to
yes.
play? Oh.
Like an actual pool.
I've never heard of that, but
you wouldn't know what's funny? Chris had the same reaction. You mean like a pool table? I'm like, no, an outdoor pool.
Can you tell me, did Chris also apply this hand motion to say play?
No, I
Sorry, we blurred that out.
We're live. We can't cut anything out. It's on the internet forever. So that's how we're gonna live now.
That's okay.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying.
Oh,
yeah, Matt can't go. That's from George, and what George says goes, unless his movie takes, and he hates all of mine.
That is true.
Yeah.
He was asking me, he's like, did Chris get that print framed yet? I hope he realizes that's actually worth money.
Yo, I have not gotten it framed yet. I look at it all the time, and I've taken it out and looked at it. Like, it's awesome.
All right, but some other housekeeping. Remember, check out Really Scared. Our spooky boys coming in with another spooky episode this week. I want to say they're with the Mummy and the Monkey talking about the escape from Planet 9.
Damn right. Yeah, that's that Really Scared. It's so good. If y'all haven't seen their stuff lately, I highly recommend it. I gush about it every time I can. They did Midsommar last week. They talked about it for 4 hours.
Yeah.
4 hours long.
Who has 4 hours in a day? Jeez.
Right. But I mean, they had Paige and they had Kayla, so they definitely had 4 voices on the show. But still, 4 hours of Midsommar. I could barely handle the 2 hours that the movie is. So, let alone
I actually
4 hours
got through that movie. I've only seen
Whew.
in pieces, and it freaked me out. So
We did a live watch along of it back last April, almost a year ago.
well, I feel like I probably would have sat through that. So that's called Midsommar.
Well, if you want to hear Chris scream, it's always fun to watch a horror movie watch along.
I'm sorry, I can't. Well, that one wasn't really scary. It was just like
it was just weird.
Chris screamed what the F so many times.
Because it's weird, dude. Like it's.
Oh no! The only part where you screamed is when they took a mallet to the head.
Spoilers. They definitely took a mallet to something, but
do a spoiler free. Jesus Christ.
No, you got to go into it blind. I went to that blind, Hereditary blind.
Hereditary. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had no idea. I was like, what?
Pet Cemetery, Invisible Man. Invisible Man was the most fun because that's the one you freaked out the most.
Really? No. You got freaked out by Invisible Man?
What the hell? It's an invisible man.
Chris doesn't like horror movies.
Why not, Chris? Can you please explain that to me?
Because he's a scaredy cat.
But they're so good.
Okay, the 4 movies I've watched on this channel, whether it's like Midsommar, Hereditary.
Those are the only scary movies you've ever seen?
No. I've obviously seen horror movies before.
I'm just kidding. I know.
My favorite is it's a mainstream pick. I like Scream a lot.
I love Scream. Scream's my favorite series, I swear.
See, Scream's the shit. So like that one's good. I've seen the Insidious movies. Those are horrendous.
You
didn't like the Insidious movies?
They're good. I mean, they're good, but
I like the first one, but yeah.
But no, I've seen scary movies. Just the 4 on the channel that I've seen. Like, I mean, Hereditary. I liked Hereditary. I liked Midsommar. I loved Invisible Man, though. I loved Invisible Man. It just scared the shit out of me, and that's why I'm like, nope, never again. It was good though. I'll say that.
And yeah, we got it. I can't wait. We'll talk about it at Watch Summit, but there's some ideas in the works
for horror stuff.
No, just stuff in general. There's ideas.
Yeah,
related.
I love having we always have a production meeting, like during the what's going on, Kevin Dukes.
How you doing, sir?
What's up, Kevin? Yeah, so yeah, we'll chat about the fun stuff later. Let's talk movies and shows.
But the last 2 things of housekeeping. Spin from the Reel presents. Excuse me. This isn't Spin from the. This is an old graphic. Really Trivia Showdown. The special is going to happen this Wednesday. It's been pushed back a couple times due to some private stuff. But yeah, the special is happening. You'll get to see the bracket. Get to hear a little bit about our new competitors, so that's fun. Actual Spin from the Reel, Chris, old logo, we still got updating here. Chris and I will be having a special guest on tomorrow night, Chance the Cobra Ellison. Chris is excited to be a corrupt boy.
Damn right. You're damn right.
And last but not least, we got Wrestle Reel Friday. Chris and Nick had a fun time in the chat this week. And the show's been growing chat-wise. Your show is probably the most chat-driven out of any of our shows. I will say that much.
We love the chat over at Wrestle Reel. It's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of fun to talk to folks. Since we started doing the live episodes, we hate pre-taping them now. So we'll see what we got to do for this Friday. We don't know yet. But 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. Wrestle Reel every Friday.
All right.
What's up? Is it you're contemplating something?
I'm like, I don't know who Kevin Dukes is.
Kevin, can't you say hi in the chat? Like, Kevin can say hi in the chat.
No, if you look in the chat, he was like, he's like, send the StreamYard link. I want to talk about WandaVision. I'm like, how does he know we're on StreamYard?
That's a great question.
I was noticing that too. I was like, you guys are talking about what you're talking about, and I was like, who's Kev? Okay, let's talk to Kev.
Kevin, I mean, that's yeah. I mean, sorry, Kevin. It's just
gotta play it safe.
Not even that. It's just yeah. We got packed house, packed theater.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm taking up too much room.
You like there's like 3 seats down there. So
all right.
Let's do it. Then that's like
because it has the blue thing. Oh, okay, fair enough. He's talking about the names. He can tell from the names.
Oh,
ooh. Okay, that means he's a professional. He knows what he's talking about. Oh, yeah. He saves, guys.
Yeah, sorry, Kev, not taking that risk today, bud. But we are actually about to talk about WandaVision now.
Let's do it.
Episode 6 of WandaVision. This show is getting a lot weirder, and I love it. This is the last 2 episodes is what I expected personally of this show from the beginning. We're gonna start with Lucia. How are you feeling about it now?
Lucia, I am enjoying it a lot. I really loved it. I think the last 2 episodes brought like a very like eerie vibe. Are we doing no spoilers or spoilers?
No Chris is in the chat, so I'm gonna say no spoilers. I don't care because I know most of the world's seen this by now.
I mean, I just wanted to check because I don't know how you people always talk about stuff without spoiling. Oh my god.
No, I mean y'all can do whatever you want.
Guys, talk about stuff without spoiling stuff because whatever. But all right. I really liked it. I like where it's going. I think that I would like it to move along a little bit because I felt like we had like the intro to this like creepy little situation that's going on and trying to figure out what's happening with Wanda and Vision. And then like this whole episode was that. And I was like, okay, I feel like we didn't need this whole episode to be that. Like I was ready for the next thing.
What's up, Buck?
What's going on, Buck? No, I'm 100% with you. Because you know something's gonna happen, so like you're waiting for you. We're getting anxious. Like I bit my tongue. We're getting anxious. So the anticipation is killing me, especially after the events of episode 6. Like now, don't play with me now. Like don't bullshit me. Like just give us the dirt. And apparently these next few episodes will be an hour long.
Hour long. That's what I was about to say. Really? We're about to get hour-long episodes for the last 3. So it's about to go down.
That's exciting.
And how this show's been laid out, it's like the 3 acts of a movie. It's just it just happens to be 6 hours long. So I know. I actually wanted to say something. My brother, I apparently I don't appreciate this because I'm too young, but my brother in the recently on, we had a clip from a movie that came out like 8 years ago, and he was like, "This is bizarre. This is so cool." Like from Age of Ultron. So I thought I feel like that's noteworthy. I felt like that wasn't that wild, but to him, he was like stunned. He couldn't stop talking about it. I thought it was really stupid, but it's okay. No, like they're incorporating more from what's happened, and again, this show's exploring Wanda as a character, Wanda Maximoff, and what she's doing, and I feel like as it goes on, especially, and I'm pretty sure we can fuck it with Pietro's.
He's saying spoilers. Oh my god.
With Pietro's inclusion,
Pietro got the worst in him. Let's go.
With Pietro's
go ahead. He took off the gloves. If Chris takes off the gloves, it's fair game.
Can we put spoilers at the bottom of the screen for my own
safety? He's like, please, I don't want to offend anyone.
That's my one thing. So, with Pietro's inclusion, we're getting to know more of Wanda and like we're fleshing out what we've already seen, but like how everything is panning out, and I don't. God bless America. I don't like this. When I say I don't like this, I mean I feel uncomfortable. Like I'm not liking where this is going. Oh, shitballs.
This is interesting. This is an
for this because of that. I figured it was
sure. Okay.
Yeah, this is wow. It's so close to my face. No, so when I say I don't like this, I mean like I'm uncomfortable by it. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not rocking with where this is going. I think Wanda is slowly becoming more corrupt in the brain. How exactly? We don't know.
I agree. I feel like it's happening a little bit too slow. Like I feel like we already knew, but maybe it's just because everyone was speculating. So it's like, oh, we already knew this was happening. Like there's something weird happening with her. But I'm just like, okay, let's just get to it now. Like let's talk about it and like, because now it's just this. And also with her talking about it with Pietro, which I thought was super interesting. I loved how meta he was. Oh yes, Pietro, right? Mm-hmm. But I kind of loved how meta he was, like when he talked to her. just like he was like super aware of the situation and like, oh, I liked how you did this, I liked how you did that.
Mhm.
But like, sorry.
No, keep going.
No, yeah, I just think like I'm right because something that I don't like is problematic to Wanda's character a little bit is I think like okay, so I talked to my brother a lot about this, who I watched this with, and he's like, oh, this is like she's having a psychotic break and she doesn't know what she's doing, and like that was a big theory going on for a while, but like now it seems like that might have happened for sure, but she definitely knows what she's doing now, and I don't like necessarily love how it's painting Wanda because I don't think that that's how she is. You know, like that's not what we saw from the movies, but I guess when she lost vision, that changed her.
Yes, and that's what they want you to think. I mean, I'm gonna go as far as saying this shit right now. By the time the show ends, and it's a special series, so I doubt we'll see a second season of this. But if we aren't seeing villainous Wanda Maximoff by the end of this show, I'll be surprised.
Yeah,
I will be, because this ties into Doctor Strange too. So we want that crazy shit to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So what's Doctor Strange gonna have to clean up from this? And it might have to be Wanda herself. That's my guess. Because especially like you said, like Pietro, he's talking about her like, oh, you did this and this and this, and she like blasts him because that's not Pietro. That ain't him. Mm-mm. So like, and she stopped the whole world, like expanded everything. Like she's. I
want to talk about that because it was kind of hinted at that Monica has changed on a molecular level.
Yes.
Do we think this event is the birth of mutants?
Yes. Okay, I was thinking that too. So that's pretty cool.
Will Monica be the first mutant? Could this be, Chris? Chris, could this be? And I'm just saying it, putting it out there because I know we debated about how they'll work this family in. Could this end up being the birth of the Fantastic Four?
Wait. That's time out. Are you implying that the Fantastic Four are mutants?
I'm saying we've heard about this friend that Monica has.
Oh yeah. That's totally Reed Richards.
If it's Reed, do we see the rest of the family with him? And
they all no, I don't like that.
I know you don't like it, but you have to admit, logically, it makes a little bit of sense.
Like, what's the reason they become the Fantastic Four? Or
the reason how they get their powers. I'm just saying how it's building up. If it's Reed Richards, you have to admit that would make a little bit of sense.
Not in the sense of the Fantastic Four being mutants. I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
That takes away from their intergalactic.
I didn't say I like it. I just said, could you see it happening?
I mean, I guess part, and that's if it's Reed. That's if it's Reed.
Yeah,
and I think it's too obvious. I feel like Marvel, the second they're like, oh, astrophysicist. Of course.
See, they didn't even say he was an astrophysicist. They said he was a mechanical engineer or something. It's like,
that's it.
I'm like, that's not Reed though.
Reed Richards. Everyone thought Reed.
Not me. I'm like, that's not Reed.
I'm like, that's Reed Richards. Like, because who the hell?
But Reed's not a.
But why would they not name drop him though? If he's not a big deal, why just
because Marvel teases us like that all the time, and
that's why I don't think it's Reed.
And I agree with you.
So the idea of them being mutants, no, I don't like that. But will they try? Oh God, I just don't want Ben Grimm, Johnny and Sue Storm, and Reed Richards to just happen to be there and like, oh, we get powers now, Fantastic Four. No, I don't. No, maybe the idea of them being mutants though, that I can get behind.
Yeah.
That's something that I can see, but we have to further expand what Wanda's doing now. Yeah. You have to make it an international thing and not just it's so popular in New Jersey.
It could be. We just saw that thing grow. What's to say this doesn't eclipse the world, and that's what happens in Doctor Strange.
Who maybe Doctor Strange is when we see the mutants become a thing, right?
Yep.
But who knows exactly? All I do know is that Monica is going to be doing some superpower shit.
Here's my thing. What does this mean for Darcy?
She's. Oh shit.
She's gone through it now. She's gone through the hex. What does this mean for Darcy?
I mean, I don't know. That's well, I mean, we'll see. What they do with her inside of the thing. They're totally. I hope they do like the two broke girls thing. That'd be pretty funny. I saw that on social media, and I thought that'd be cool.
I mean, they skipped over the '90s straight to the early 2000s. So
we could do like Friends or some shit, like just something fun.
Oh,
that's
no.
nice.
That was '90s, early 2000s. We've already done the early 2000s. I love the Malcolm in the Middle callback. Just gotta say that.
Was great.
I was losing my shit. I knew it immediately. I'm like, video camera, that text. This is Malcolm in the Middle. And as soon as
and just so we can show love to the Lopez duo that are doing the songs for these, the intro songs, like they're so good and they perfectly match the time of what they're trying to emulate. And the Malcolm in the Middle shit is just it hits you right over the head. They were not even trying to be easy about it.
And then was that Billy? Billy's the one who's
I can't tell you which one's which.
I don't know which one's which.
All I know is that they have powers now, and that creeps me out.
I think that's Billy. Billy was the one being Malcolm in the episode. He's like, yeah, this is what life is like right now, and all this. I'm like this is great. As someone who loved Malcolm in the Middle, this is fantastic.
Just to keep this going with the twins, right? So I'm pretty sure everyone caught this when Pietro said that. He said, "Oh, you devil spawn, you like whatever the hell you call them, devil children." It's like, what? Like that can't be. Come on. Like there has to be some sly there, especially coming from him.
I think it absolutely is. You're absolutely correct. I don't think that was even trying to be a secret. Like we already know.
Because there's been multiple allusions or multiple mentions of the devil in some way, shape, or form throughout this. Whether it's coming from Agnes, which that's a whole different thing too that happened this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from Agnes and her being like, "Devil's in the details." Like, oh, is it? Is it though? Like that. I'm fascinated at how that'll pan out, especially when Pietro gets outed, because that's not her brother.
That's not Pietro.
Mm-hmm. Like they try to show us. They try to make him look like old school Quicksilver with the hair and the costume and the jorts like that. Yeah, that was cool. He's a dickhead. Like what? Okay, whatever.
Jenny, when we were watching it, she didn't understand the reference. I'm like,
to like the hair and stuff.
No, she didn't understand the reference to why everyone was freaking out that it was Evan Peters.
Oh.
So I finished the episode and she's like, I don't get it. I'm like, you don't get it. So I went back to where you meet Pietro and Days of Futures Past and showed her that whole scene. She's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, and those were around the same time when Aaron Taylor Johnson and Evan Peters were
a year apart.
Yeah, and I rewatched the X-Men Apocalypse Quicksilver scene, which is awesome, by the way.
It's one of the few redeeming factors of that movie.
Yeah, it truly is. But it just it just made me realize like that's not going to be Pietro. I know some people were texting me after he first showed up and they're like, "Oh, Chris, look, it's Quicksilver, you dumb bitch, you're wrong." And it's like, that's not Quicksilver. It may look like him. That actor may have played a Quicksilver before, but after this series, we will not see Evan Peters again. And if we do, he won't be Pietro Maximoff. Like that's not it. That is not it. But no, that Agnes stuff, right? So Vision finds Agnes, and because he's like the little boop, and he brings people back from the reality that Wanda puts them in, and she's like talking like we're like what's going on, or like Wanda's doing this to us, you know, she knows like she knows what she's doing, she's hurting people. I call bullshit. I think Agnes told him that shit on purpose. Like I think that Agnes, or whatever her real name is, she told Vision that shit just so he can be all like, I must help those people and all this stuff. But she knows that something's going on, that Wanda ain't the only person behind all this stuff. And Wanda even admitted a few episodes ago, she's like, I don't know how I'm doing this. All right, something in that vein. So someone is helping Wanda to the point where even Wanda doesn't know the full extent of what she can do. Like, I totally am expecting something freaking bonkers to happen, and I need it to happen like episode 7. I don't want to wait till episode 8 or 9, which I doubt we will, but I think episode 7, especially with the longer episodes, like they're ending on these crazy ass notes. So they have to at least give us something to work with.
I also wonder what it's going to mean that she expanded, because obviously she wasn't, or maybe she was losing power or whatever it might be. Like, she wasn't capable of operating this whole like universe that she created to like these outer depths.
Right.
You know? So I wonder now that she's brought in all of these new people, it's like, what's going to happen? Like, how can she handle that? And I just like, I'm interested to see how that ends up too.
Well, and I know in the trailers we see that eventually it looks like the world's just like coming apart. There's that one scene specifically where she's sitting on the couch looking at the TV, and the wall is like coming in and out in the as she's switching the TV and things like that. So I think we're gonna start seeing those effects coming in the next couple episodes, because I don't think she can handle it. And that's, I mean, look at it this way. Look at how the people on the outskirts of town were acting. They were either frozen or doing the same motion over and over.
Keep the facade.
The commercial though, the commercial with the yoga, that was so free. Like, it was so eerie though. Just
dark.
Man.
And part of me, I know basically each commercial has been hinted at Infinity Stone. To me, I'm like, that's the stone that Gamora died for. I forget which stone that.
The Soul Stone.
Thank you, the Soul Stone. Because they mentioned it was, and that the kid wanted the yogurt, but he couldn't open it, and he couldn't get it. I'm like, okay, that's Red Skull. Red Skull wanted the power of the stones, and he was cursed to guard it for the rest of his life. There are other people saying that it's a nod to Pietro because he wasn't the survivor. He died. He couldn't open the yogurt, so therefore, I'm like, I could see either side of this argument, but where can we go? And then they went into details, which I thought, no, you're reaching right now, because they're like, well, the shark is the same color as Quicksilver's costume. I'm like, all sharks are gray. That's a reach. It's the claymation shark. That's a reach.
By the way, I did love that they did claymation for this one. Like,
that was very early 2000 and late.
It was cool. They're like, oh, hey kid, you want some of this? What was it called? Yo Magic. Yeah, like, so you want, and
the early 2000s is where they're like heavily pushing yogurt as snacks too. Right. The Trix yogurt, the Go-Gurt, all that
and
stuff.
Shark had the sunglasses on, so he's cool because all people with sunglasses are cool. So, like, this was the one commercial to me where it didn't hit us over the head with what they're trying to say.
Shug,
what's going on, Shug? So, like the Stark commercial, obviously it's a nod to Tony Stark. The Strucker one, the Hydra one, the one that's talking about making you a goddess, all this stuff. Like, it was obvious and it hit you over the head. This one, I was like, what's that mean? Like, I was stumped. And even now, like, Matt, you just told me all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm not convinced on one of those theories. Like, the other ones are kind of straightforward, but this one isn't. And honestly, I kind of like that. I don't know.
I like the Red Skull. I agree with you. I like the Red Skull one the most because to me, he becomes a skeleton. He's stuck holding that yogurt. I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see that. That's the Soul Stone one. Cool.
No, if that's what they're trying to allude to, then awesome. Because all these commercials are a nod to something. And at first, it was like Wanda's like traumas, right? Like Stark held her captive after Civil War. Like Hydra obviously captured her. Strucker gave her powers. Like all this crazy shit. The Soul Stone is what gave her power. So if that's what they're trying to allude to, then okay.
The Mind Stone gave her power, not the Soul Stone. That's why she has this.
Oh, the Mind Stone. Yeah, that one. So I don't know. And that's another reason why I don't know. This commercial had me tripping the most.
Well, before we move off this subject, Lucia was about to say something. Go right ahead, miss.
Yeah, an epiphany.
No, I didn't have an epiphany. I just think maybe this is like a little bit obvious or blunt, but like you said, it was alluding to Wanda's traumas before. Like, I mean, I watched that commercial and like my first thought was like, because it came right after Vision first saw the girl trying to hang up the ghost like decoration, and it kept repeating and repeating and repeating. So I thought it kind of was like saying like, this is what Wanda is doing to people. And it's like, because you're gonna go insane. You can't not do this because they did the yogurt.
Actually.
In
my head, I kind of connected. I was like, "That's fucking dark." My bad. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
How dare you?
It's not like Chris drops an F-bomb every other minute.
Yeah. What?
But I just was like, "That's dark," because that's where it brought me. I was like, "Okay, so she doesn't." So she's like she said, like later on, she mentioned to, like when her and Pietro were talking, it was like, "Oh, I see what you did. Like, good job. Same families, same kind of career, same personalities." And she was like, "Oh yeah, it's not that bad," kind of thing. Like, "Oh, you don't think it's bad?" But it's like, it is actually bad because you can't control all these people, and like you're maybe losing power. And then it's like, yeah, you're gonna just keep repeating. Like, what happens to them? We don't know. So that's kind of like how I took it.
I think you might be on some.
I like that take. And with that is the end of our Wanda.
The episode's good. Watch WandaVision, damn it.
The episode is good. So we're gonna move on to something that it's still crazy that we're here. Snyder Cut. We got that trailer today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, we're gonna start with you. How you feeling after the Snyder Cut trailer?
Yo, so I woke up this morning and to our Who Are They group chat, where Taylor's out here like, we live in a society. He's tripping over that line, which I think it's so not good. So I wake up to that. So I wait to watch the trailer. I wait, and I do my stuff in the morning. I watch the trailer. I get done watching it, and I felt the same going into the trailer I felt afterwards. This trailer didn't do too much for me. As crazy as it sounds, because it's a whole new trailer, it's a all new footage and all this crazy stuff, right? And it's cool. It's really cool. Like, they showed us a lot of great stuff. It might have been like 99.9% new footage, and that's awesome. But I mean, okay, I'm still gonna watch it, but just something about it, I wasn't excited. I wasn't like, give me, like, if they were to drop a Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings trailer tomorrow, I'd be like, yes, Shang-Chi and my new favorite superhero. But like freaking Justice League, I wasn't too hot. I wasn't too hot on it. It was cool, but it wasn't too hot.
Lucia, how are you feeling? Because I know we talked about it a little bit.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was like, I knew it was supposed to be different. Like you said, it was cool. I feel like maybe it's because it's been talked about since like Justice League was released, that there was like an entire different movie that nobody got to see. And like, we've all just been waiting for it kind of. So it wasn't that exciting. It's just like, okay, it's here now. Like, when are we going to release it? I don't know. I mean, I personally this is nothing to do with the actual film. I have a huge crush on Ben Affleck, which is just its own problem. So I'm excited to watch it.
Well, he's recently single.
No, don't tell me that. I was very upset about it. Just don't bring it up. Damn,
yeah, Ana de Armas, like they were.
I'll tell you this: Chris was not upset about it.
Listen, so here's the thing. That's the problem. I love Ana de Armas. Like, I'm obsessed with her.
Great.
I loved seeing them together.
They were cute.
Also, am I sad now that she's available? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
It's like, yeah, both options. No, but it was fine. Like Lucia said, just give us the damn movie.
Right.
It's been 4 years. 4 years since Justice League came out.
3 years.
It's been a long time. Okay, leave him alone.
November of 2017.
Oh, it's been 3.5 years. I apologize.
There you go.
It's not even at the halfway point.
God damn it, Matt. Semantics don't matter. So the thing with Justice League, the Snyder Cut, whatever the hell we want to call it, just show me the movie. And the worst part about the anticipation is that we know nothing will come of it. We're just gonna see it.
Yeah.
And that's it. We're not gonna see a sequel. We're not gonna see follow-ups. Just that. That's it. And I think that hurts my anticipation. That's just me, though. I'm not saying everyone should feel that way, but that's just my 2 cents on how I view Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's cool stuff in it, though. like the Joker. I thought the Joker stuff was cool, minus the society line, minus that.
He looked good. He definitely looked good.
He looked like Heath Ledger's Joker if he like just messed up his makeup a little bit more.
It looked like a combination of Heath Ledger's and Joaquin's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I know this is that was all reshoots, and like they came back and brought him so he couldn't green the hair up too much, and
he was probably like, I ain't cutting my hair.
That too. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be on set for 2 days. Nah, I ain't cutting my hair.
You ain't getting me to cut my hair, bro.
He's all like culty now, so you can't do that. So no, there was okay. Like I probably sound like I'm shitting on this thing. It was fun.
You're breaking Connor's heart right now. I'll tell you that.
You saw more of the Flash. That was awesome.
Seeing Iris was the best part of this for me.
Seeing Iris was cool too.
Mm-hmm.
And like we saw more like Cyborg. Hopefully Cyborg does cooler shit because Joss Whedon was just like Cyborg. So he was barely did anything in Justice League. So I hope he does more cool shit in this one. Black Suit Superman's awesome. The whole nightmare sequence is gonna be cool. I just give me the movie. I don't want the trailer. I've been talking about this movie for 3.5 years, apparently. Not even 3.5, because apparently Matt's a stickler for Matt. But I want to see the movie. I want to. It's a month and 4 days away. I don't know how many days. I don't want to be a stickler. I don't want Matt to yell at me.
I feel like you got it right. It's okay.
Yeah, but no, it's cool. It's cool. Like I don't know what else.
I feel like we're all on the same page a little bit. I mean, not to speak to Matt, but
well, no, you guys are right. I was more excited by seeing my granny goodness. Cool. I would have been more excited if you didn't show us all the like wow moments from this trailer and the stuff leading up to it the last week or so.
Yeah, they did the whole like the countdown, and they showed us like a screenshot of the trailer. That wasn't cool either. It's like why would you show us Darkseid in his full glory in a little baby trailer you put on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
Like why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. But again, I talk all this shit about DC. I talk all this shit about the Snyder Cut. I talk all this shit about the fans. I'm gonna see this shit on the 18th of March.
You might see it before then.
And if I do, then I'll be over the moon. But if I see it on the 18th, then cool. I just need the movie. It's 4 hours long. All right, cool. What are those 4 hours worth? What's in that makes me care?
I feel like he's asking a lot right now.
And did you see it has a 10-minute intermission in it? It has a 10-minute intermission in it.
10 minutes?
Break. Jeez,
pause the movie.
That's what a lot of people have been saying. You're like, you gave us a 10-minute intermission when we can just pause a movie.
Hamilton's was a minute long. Pause the damn thing.
So Rent, the last Broadway show, like they filmed it, that actually had like a 5 to 10 minute intermission. So I can't.
Well, this is on streaming. It's
I know.
Not going to the theater.
They want you to, if you're gonna stop, they want you to stop at the intermission. Like it breaks it up perfectly. Okay.
I mean, I guess.
Fans, you don't know.
You're right, but that's still at least do like what Hamilton did. Just give us like 30 seconds of flash intermission on the screen so we can
pause it. I would do that as well, yeah.
So we can pause it. We can stretch, get your beverage.
Why are you complaining? If it's streaming, all you can do is fast forward.
Chris, you want to know why I think they did that? Is because there's talks that this is still going to get a theatrical release on top of it.
And if it does, then great.
But you shouldn't put the intermission in.
But you can release a separate cut. You're Warner Brothers. You have the money. Like
we don't want to export this movie twice. We don't want to export this movie twice.
You're Warner Brothers. Like, what in the hell are you doing? 10-minute intermission, my ass. And of course they're gonna release this in theaters. Of course they are. Like they just released Lord of the Rings in IMAX.
Oh, don't get me started on that, motherfucker.
So they're gonna do it like when the world's right and we're all vaccinated. We're all like, sweet, let's go to the movies. Oh, the Zack Snyder Justice League's in the theater. Let's go see that for 4 hours.
And see, here's the thing: that one's not gonna be a part of the month window. That one's just gonna live there. So what's the point?
Yeah, right.
Everybody has HBO Max.
This is why people are getting HBO Max. This is all the movies they're releasing.
I feel like y'all are just haters. I swear to God.
Hey, I just said
you just said the same shit.
Oh,
I am so stoked to see this. All I'm saying is that I didn't need a trailer. I didn't need it.
No, I agree with that, but you're just complaining about this intermission. Like, if you're watching it on stream, like, you can fast forward just like you can pause.
But that's inconvenient for me as the watcher. Obviously, my time is more precious than their money. So I, the viewer, who am spending my $15 plus a month for HBO Max, right? I'm already paying for this service, and you're gonna give me a 10-minute intermission. What if I don't want the 10 minutes? What if I just want to plow through it?
Why don't you just?
I hope they give you an option to skip the intermission.
If they give me a skippable intermission, then dope. Then I'll stop bitching.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that would.
I'll retroactively take back my bitching. But until then,
I hope this happens.
I will moan, complain, and whine about it.
Fair. All right. Well, let's move.
Nonetheless.
Let's move on to something I know Chris is excited about. I have realistically no feelings. I have no connection to this whatsoever.
What is this?
The Last of Us.
Yo.
The HBO show cast their Ellie and their Joel. In the role of Joel, we have Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian himself. A story about a man taking care of a child and trying to take her across country. Why does this sound so familiar? Chris, the girl who they cast as Ellie, I know she played Lady Mormont in Game of Thrones.
Bella Ramsey.
Thank you, Bella Ramsey. She was a badass in Game of Thrones. That's all I can really say. I'll check it out. That's literally all I can say. That's all I know about this thing. I don't know. I haven't played the game. None of that. So educate me.
The Last of Us can easily be adapted for screen, especially if you have the money for it, like an HBO type of budget for it. And I remember that same day, there were rumors running wild on social media, like Mahershala Ali is going to play Joel. And of course, everyone's like, Joel's going to be black now?
And then literally 10 hours later, and this is why I always tell people, don't trust Illuminati. They're like a lesser version of We.
And then bang, here comes Pedro Pascal getting casted as Joel. Like, yeah, are the similarities to Mandalorian uncanny? Yes. Like, they're awfully similar, but this time Grogu won't be like eating eggs and using the Force. Ellie's gonna be shooting people, and it's gonna be awesome. And it's Pedro Pascal doing something, and I'm over the moon about anything Pedro Pascal. Like, he really broke out in The Mandalorian. Obviously, he'd been around. He's been on Game of Thrones. He broke out on Mandalorian. He did. To the general public, Matthew? Yes, he has. I don't want. What do you mean no? What are you talking about? No one knew his name on Game of Thrones, Matthew.
Everyone knew his name.
They knew Pedro Pascal by name.
Yes.
That's
and you want to know? Yes.
You're lying.
No, I am not. Oberlin Martell, motherfucker. Also, don't forget Kingsman 2.
No one knew who he was.
Yes, he did.
Kingsman 2 is great.
If Beale Street could talk, Triple Frontier.
But he wasn't a household
Narcos.
name. He wasn't a household name, Matthew. That's what I'm trying to say. He became a household name for Mandalorian because people love Mando, like,
this is going to be great. I knew Pedro from Narcos.
No, and that's great. But Taylor, like, we consume all this crazy shit. If I were to ask my mom who Pedro Pascal was 2 years ago, like, she hasn't seen Narcos. So it's like, oh, Mom, who's Pedro Pascal? Who's that? Great question, Mom. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. He became a household name through Mando. So him with that name, now coming on to The Last of Us, an already recognizable IP from Sony, and now HBO, it's going to be dope. Yeah, and you have 2 HBO Game of Thrones alums coming to be the leads of this show. Yes, 100%. Thank you, Taylor.
I'm going to disagree on that. But that's
he's not wrong, though. Like, he's definitely not wrong, Matt.
He became a household name.
Yeah, it brought him to that mainstream status. It made him a household name. Not everybody, yes.
Of course, he was in things.
Mm-hmm. And people knew who he was, obviously, but like, he wasn't the Mandalorian. Like, that's what happened.
Like, once he became Mandalorian, once Star Wars and Disney put their money behind him, of course he's gonna become a household name. But putting him behind The Last of Us with the HBO money, the production quality of the show is going to be incredible. And although I may not be familiar with Bella Ramsey's work, I hear nothing but great things about her from Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be kick-ass. This show's going to rule. I don't know when they start production, but this could be another one of those hit shows for HBO, and it will be carried by the names of The Last of Us and Pedro Pascal.
I just got one thing to say.
I disagree.
And that's great. This is how I win.
Can't
wait for The Last of Us. It's going to be awesome.
Like I said, I don't know anything about this show. Lucia, you got any thoughts?
I have nothing. I don't know about it, but I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, let's go to some news. I know Chris was really excited about yesterday.
More news. Let's go. Okay, yo, let me take the reins on this guy. So, yesterday out of nowhere. So I'm one of those nerds that gets notifications for tweets from Donald Glover because he's the most interesting man on the planet. Mm-hmm. And I got a tweet notification, and it sent me to his Instagram. And there's nothing on the Instagram, so it sent me to his the story was there. I'm like, ooh, Instagram story from Donald Glover. That's interesting. And through that Instagram announcement was Donald Glover, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Amazon Prime, 2022. What? And that is freaking awesome, right? It's okay. Donald Glover, again, another one of those household names after Disney put their money behind him. Like oh my God, Matt, Jesus Christ! Just because you watch Atlanta doesn't mean everyone watches Atlanta. So,
Community,
Matt. Community wasn't a big show when it was on TV, and it's like, let's be real.
It found a rebirth in streaming. People knew who Donald Glover was because of Community.
That was last year, Matt.
No, it was on Hulu before it was on Netflix. It was not
but when it was on Netflix, that's when people started giving a shit about Community.
No, that's when people were like, oh yeah, Community was a thing. But people knew who Donald Glover was before Solo.
Oh my God. Oh, Solo. Okay, it's good. It was Solo. So when they put their money behind him in Solo, thank you.
I said they knew him before Solo.
Jesus Christ, Matt. Just because they do work doesn't make them household names. So
when everybody is saying, hey, you should cast Donald Glover because of what he did in Community and 30 Rock. Because there's two things. It's not just one. It's Community and 30 Rock.
In 30 Rock, and he wrote on the show. He wasn't even on. He was barely on it. Yeah, people know Childish Gambino, but do they know Donald Glover and Childish Gambino were the same person at the time?
Thank you, Brandon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So, look, what I was going to say, and I mean, even then, Childish Gambino didn't have a freaking platinum selling record until Redbone, but I digress. This show is going to be on Amazon. And it's Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Donald Glover, two of the most successful and now well-known TV stars. Like Phoebe Waller-Bridge was doing Fleabag, and that show's been getting nothing but love. Donald Glover obviously doing Atlanta. Both of them Emmy winners in their own right, and they are two notable names in comedy. Or
second time they've worked together.
Atlanta being
as characters in a relationship,
right? So, and now with the idea of the IP of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, like is it going to be a comedy, like a straight comedy, or are they going to be like, is it going to be like the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie movie we saw those years ago? Are they still going to make it a drama? Either way, I will be first in line to see this shit. Like I love Donald Glover. I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge is hysterical, and both of them together. Now behind with on an Amazon project, yes. Oh my God, yes. So, I was just, damn. Anything Donald Glover, he can like Deadline can report tomorrow. Hey, Donald Glover took a shit. It's like yes, Donald. Like good for you. Like I will watch anything this man's in. Like I'm so glad that people know who he is now. Like I've been a fan of his for almost a decade now. I'm like yo, Donald's the shit. And I think more people should know who he is. Yeah, a lot of people know who he is now, but I think he should be like Like, I look at him differently, and so when this news came out, I was over the moon. This shit rules.
Let's reinvent a property people barely cared about in the 2000s. I'm excited to see Donald Glover in something. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, cool. It's a year away. Honestly, the first thing I thought when I saw this news is, okay, we're seasons 3 and 4 of Atlanta. Thank you.
They're shooting those. They're shooting them.
I know, but my point is like that was I'm like you announced another TV show and I still don't have my 2 new seasons of Atlanta.
Yo, don't hold your horses. Donald's a busy guy.
I've been waiting 2 years.
Right, and then a pandemic happened. So like, we need to cool it. Like there's a pandemic and everything. Like it was.
Hey, we could have at least gotten season 3 last year, leading up to the pandemic. I'm just saying that's the point I'm trying to make.
Donald's a busy guy. He does everything. Has his hand in all the cookie jars. So when Atlanta is done rapping, and then hopefully he makes another album in the meantime, and then he does the Amazon series. Okay, great. Then all will be right in the world. We will get Atlanta. That's okay. It's okay. We'll get Atlanta.
Yeah, me having to wait this long though.
That's a technical foul.
Is that your new gimmick now? Like just pulling clips from movies.
You've had that there for like 2 weeks.
Niggas been 2 weeks. Like that's your gimmick. And I love how obscure that one was. Both Adam Sandler flicks too.
I didn't even stop to think about that. That's just
no. We'll get Atlanta. It's gonna be fine. But this new show's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
How are you feeling about it, Lucia?
Kind of like what you said. I think more like wasn't that into it when it came out, and should be interesting, I guess, with Donald Glover and everything. So, I don't know. I didn't know about that. I didn't hear about that until right now. So it's cool. I think it'll be interesting. Like it'll be an interesting dynamic, like take on it, maybe.
Hopefully, I hope they change something about it.
Get an Al Pacino Dunkachino clip from Jack and Jill.
That should just be Matt Skinner, like playing clips from Adam Sandler movies.
Yes, please.
That's terrible.
That's okay.
No.
Yo, you got it. That has to be your new thing now.
No,
Chris, this is what I gotta say to you.
Boo this man!
I really hope you just like flood our whole media library with clips from movies that only you're gonna use.
Hey, you guys have your stuff for Wrestle Reels. This is
Nick does that. I don't do that.
It's a nice little aspect to it. It's more like a radio show now.
Is it though? Look, we're excited for Donald Glover doing more things. Moral of the story.
That's a good ending.
Yes, good ending. And now I can't wait to hear Lucia scream and complain about this because they're remaking The Wizard of Oz.
I'm not gonna scream and complain.
You're not?
One of us is. It better be you. If you're not gonna do it, I'll do it.
I mean, what you're gonna complain? You don't like The Wizard of Oz? Or you were complaining about the remake of it?
The remake.
Yeah. I just don't think they need anything of it. They can like let it go to sleep.
just take it out back.
Just leave it. It was made. Why do we keep remaking everything? Oh shoot, we were just talking about that. So.
Because Hollywood's not creative.
We're running out of ideas.
That's not my problem, but they don't need to make another Wizard of Oz.
They don't need to make Wicked either, but they decided they're going to do that.
Wait, what?
Oh, you weren't on last week. They got a director for Wicked. They got a director for Wicked.
They're making a movie.
I don't want to see that. No, I don't, because the musical was amazing. Like, we don't need a movie of it. This is how you ruin a good thing.
But you still have the musical.
I actually agreed with you there because I think musical to film adaptations are not good.
Okay, not every.
Mad, don't play coy. He don't like the shit. Mad doesn't like Wicked. Period.
I'm talking about. I'm agreeing with. I'm agreeing with her point that she thinks it's good. I just don't and I said this last week. I don't think stage show musicals to movie adaptations work. When the gold standards are Phantom of the Opera, and I love those movies, but I can admit they're not good.
Well, maybe I wouldn't.
What I would say is this: they're
not good. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right about that. But here's the thing: is there is something about seeing like theater, like musical theater. It's different than watching it on a movie and trying to capture it in the movie than like watching it in real life. It doesn't translate well almost ever. Like you're right. They're not good. The movie adaptations are not good at that. But it's because of like, I know this is going to sound so cheesy, but there is like a special thing seeing it in front of you like that and watching it all unfold. And like, imagine how hard it is to run that without a hitch, like live. Like that's insane to me. Like I think it's amazing. So no.
Luckily, Taylor, we have a director, Tom Hooper. After Cats and Les Mis, I don't want to see him touch another fucking musical in my life.
Such strong feelings, Matthew. But in regards to The Wizard of Oz, that Wicked is based on, to an extent.
The book.
I think it adds depth to the story of The Wizard of Oz, per se. Anyway, back to that.
The director of this is
of The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, it's Castle. The last name's Castle. Nicole Castle. She is the visual architect of the HBO Watchmen TV series.
Great.
So
yeah, she's
the director.
That would be cool.
So,
and they're hoping to launch. It sounds like they're hoping to launch a cinematic universe out of this. Like
wait.
Because did you know this is based off of like a series of 13 books, right? There are 13 books in the series. So there's talks that Warner Brothers and New Line are trying to launch a franchise out of this.
Matt, you froze up there for a second, so I didn't catch that bit. What'd you say?
It seems like they want to launch this.
I feel like it's every time you mention.
I know the franchise.
franchise.
You say the F word, and your whole screen goes like. But no, okay. So I woke up to this news one day, because like I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do my job every day, and I go on my Twitter, I pull it up, bang, Wizard of Oz remake. And my instant reaction is nothing is sacred. Matt is always freezing. But nothing is sacred anymore. We must hate everything. And even like the gold standard of cinema in The Wizard of Oz, like the first movie that was in color, like this movie is held in such a high regard, and it's really good. And it was made almost 100 years ago. Like it's so dope. And yet here we are. WB is like, you know what? I think we got this. And,
remake time.
And is that what they think, though?
Apparently, since they're gonna make it.
I mean, but everyone's gonna want to watch it. Like you just said, it's like a gold standard. It was like this big iconic movie, this revolutionary movie, almost 100 years ago. No matter how bad it is, they're gonna want to see it. So yeah, that's pretty much a gold mine right there. I don't know.
What you just said is on point, because guess who's gonna see this thing? Me. I want to see this thing because out of pure curiosity, I feel like I have to see this.
And I feel like that's how a lot of people are going to feel. Out of the pure curiosity side of things, they're going to be like, I'm going to see. Did they mess it up, or did they actually make it better? That's what people are going to go in wondering.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the actual IP for The Wizard of Oz is public domain.
And that is why they make remakes.
Exactly. But if I'm not mistaken, the actual Wizard of Oz IP is public domain. The only thing that Warner Brothers has the rights to is the Ruby Slippers, which is what a lot of people think of when they think of the Wizard of Oz, at least the movie. So that when they remake the movie at New Line and at Warner Brothers, they'll be able to use the Ruby Slippers. Everything's right in the world because Disney did that Oz Great and Powerful movie, which I know Taylor's in the chat. Him and I have this ironic love for it, even though I think we both only seen it one time, but. That's why Disney.
Franco?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's why Disney made
Yes,
that.
it is public domain, but not the Garland version.
Yeah, because of the slippers.
No, it's more. There's changes that they made throughout the entire thing that make it, because there are characters that are copyrighted and things like that.
Oh, word. Okay. So, yeah, but it's public domain, but no one's gonna touch this because why would they touch this? Because there's a classic. Obviously, like, people are gonna watch The Wizard of Oz. They'll go back and watch the original.
Chris, have you not watched The Wiz?
Oh, of course I've seen The Wiz, Matt. But and to some folks, that's their preference is watching The Wiz. But at the same time, that's not The Wizard of Oz. Let's be frank. they take the shell of The Wizard of Oz and make it black and bang, The Wiz. And it's great. The Wiz is awesome.
I'm like, I'm not gonna be the one that says I ain't gonna. They make it black. Yep, Chris said it.
The Wiz is great. So, but remaking what we saw forever ago, literally forever ago, the role that made Judy Garland Julie Garland, and is this cultural touchstone in cinema, and we're remaking it. I mean, it was a matter of time, I guess. And that's the part that bums me out. Like, we're remaking West Side Story, and it comes out later this year. And I was like, do we need that?
We were supposed to see it 2 months ago. I'm still pissed about that.
Like, am I going to see that?
If you want to watch a good West Side Story, just go watch West Side Story.
See, I was interested in this based off of the Steven Spielberg aspect of it. It's been a pet project of his for years because he's in love with it. So
yeah, and I think like the cast is great, regardless of what you think of Ansel Elgort's personal life. And I think Rachel Ziegler is great. If that's how I pronounce her name. Mm-hmm. But I watched the map of the Tiny Perfect Things yesterday, and the main guy, Kyle Allen, he will also be in West Side Story. So I was like, oh hey, that's gonna be cool. But remaking these older classics, it's a matter of time. Who's gonna touch Casablanca? Because that will happen one day, where we remake Casablanca and the world's just gonna go to the shitter. But we'll see. It's Wizard of Oz. It's the name. It's the name of the show. So what else am I expecting?
Okay.
Yep.
That actually went a little bit better than I thought it would.
Hey, you want me to bitch about it? I'll start going crazy on it.
I know you will. But here, this I'll let you go crazy on in a good way. Borderlands is getting a movie. I know, once again, Chris, I know nothing. Educate me.
Again, I forget who's distributing this or who's making this.
I think this is. Let me see. Our friend Paige, who has her podcast.
The cast of this thing, it should be intriguing to anyone, like just by itself. Like, it's like Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black, and that's just the beginning of this. Mm-hmm. And Borderlands, while I haven't played too much of the games, again, this will be something that is just outlandish and wild, and with some money behind it, this could be really dope. And this has like franchise potential. You can do some really crazy shit with this. And when I mean crazy, I literally mean crazy. Just judging by the picture Matt pulled up, that speaks for itself. But just the cast in itself, like just those four names. Like, oh, did you see that new movie with Cate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, and Jack Black? Wait, what? Like, yeah, it's awesome. So, like I mentioned, I don't know.
It's Lionsgate.
Lionsgate. So that's
Eli Roth is directing too,
Eli
which
Roth
makes
is
this
directing
really
it.
interesting.
So it's one hell of like, on paper, this could be really dope. But I mean, the same thing can be said about that damn monster movie. What was it called? That Mila Jovovich just did.
Oh, the one where they just created a character for it, like Monster Hunter or whatever.
Monster Hunter World, like that shit. Like, it could easily turn into that, but I don't think it will, especially with the star power you have behind it. Like, how the hell do you convince Jamie Lee Curtis and Cate Blanchett, of all people?
How do you convince Kevin Hart to do it?
Yeah, to do a video game adaptation, which, depending on who you ask,
don't have the best track record.
You haven't seen too many good ones, and that's depending on who you ask. Like, you may ask someone, and they may say all of them are bad. That's fine, but This could be dope.
Can you name a good one, Chris?
That's a video game proper.
Yes.
I thought Tomb Raider was alright.
Which one?
The newer one with Alicia Vikander.
I agree with you there. I thought that was okay.
That was cool.
Sonic.
Sonic, yes.
That was not an adaptation. That was not an adaptation.
Sonic.
I say we call it an adaptation.
Yo, what? For those audio listeners, Taylor put in the chat. Can you pull that back up, Matt?
Don't have the most confidence in this one, but Paul W.S. Anderson is not directing is a good start.
Word, 1000%, and like it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be so weird, and it's a video game movie, so it's already bad, but it can only get better. It can only get better.
I think it's a combination of spec script and adaptation, because I think we're gonna pull these few little details, and the rest is just go with it. They probably took the fourth Smurfs movie and replaced the Smurfs with Sonic and added the gold
You're
rings.
on crack. You're on crack. Like that is definitely not how that works. Detective Pikachu's another one.
Oh yeah, Pikachu.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's another one of those ones.
Really good.
It's good.
I liked it.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying to me that's in the same category as Sonic, where they just here's the idea, and now we're just going to add a ton more to it that takes away from what the idea.
Okay, so then what's a proper adaptation? I'm not in the video games, so you have to like teach me here.
Unfortunately, like the Super Mario Brothers.
That's not an adaptation either.
I'm kidding. Here, Max Payne.
Oh yeah.
Hitman.
Oh no. I'll do you one better.
Need for Speed.
Oh no! Why'd you say that?
Need for Speed is a guilty pleasure one though, because that one's still exciting.
That one's fun. I only seen it once.
I
saw it once on my phone.
I watch it here whenever I see it. I watch it because I thought Aaron Paul was great in it. I love that was the beginning of the Michael Keaton Renaissance actually, and it had Rami Malek in it. So like
had Kid Cudi in it. Let's not forget. No, what was I thinking? There was another good one.
It's not getting that. It's not.
Sonic better get a damn Oscar nom.
That would be great.
Yo, I just had a video. Oh, Mortal Kombat. Like that movie rules.
That's not a good one.
Mortal Kombat rules.
I feel like Matt has I don't even know what your definition is.
Yeah, like yo, I think because it's
Warcraft is one.
Warcraft's I like
it. That's a video game movie, and that I'm stoked for that. I hate that we haven't seen a trailer yet. I thought we would have got one during the Super Bowl, honestly.
We only saw like two things at the Super Bowl, for being frank.
And that was the perfect lead-in, because we're going to talk about one of those.
Look at them cute boys.
Those boys staring each other down like they won't kill each other.
And that's probably going to be like a subplot of the TV series.
It's a buddy cop movie. How excited are you for this, Lucia?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I heard your when I put that picture on screen.
Oh, have you seen the picture? What do you want me to do? I have eyes. I appreciate a good-looking pair. I mean, I'm actually kind of sad that they had Sebastian Stan's hair is short, like Winter Soldier. But I mean, that's probably just the whole I'm not crazy anymore kind of thing. But
Taylor Cleek in the chat saying, "Let them kiss."
Yes.
I mean, if Marvel wants to shock us, then do it. But the actual trailer though, what were you guys thinking? Because I don't think Matt and I we even talked about this.
We talked about it in group chat. I think you and I were the only ones talking about it in group chat Super Bowl night. Everybody else is kind of quiet. And,
that makes sense.
But I loved the longer trailer. The shorter trailer that we got in the spot, I was like, okay. And then Toby's like, there's the full one on. I'm like, okay. And I went to watch it right away. And I'm like, this is what I wanted. This is why I have the shield for this movie in my car right now.
For this movie?
Excuse me, this show. The show, because Chris, I've told you, Sam Wilson is Captain America. I have most of the original run of him as Captain America. I love Sam Wilson as Captain America,
especially the werewolf parts. Those are my favorites. Those are fun.
Yeah, but no, I love him as Captain America. And when we know that part of this show is about how the government doesn't want him to be Captain America, and that's why they created U.S. Agent and all this, it's like, oh, the government's trying to keep the black man down. That's an interesting.
Wait a second.
Literally, when I heard Marvel was doing that, I'm like, that is an interesting and completely original take by Marvel. There, I'm getting a little hot under the collar. Marvel.
It's politically relevant.
Yes, it's very politically relevant.
No, but this trailer's dope.
Yeah,
this trailer's really, really cool. And even the part that they showed us just during the big game, right? Like just that 30-second bit, I'm like, yo, this is raw. Like this, yeah.
You should be jumping in this chat now that you free.
The football, but the actual like the 2-minute bit that was on social media and everything. This show is gonna be fun. It might be funny to an extent, just between the Winter Soldier and Sam.
Yes,
that's mine and Chris's relationship right there, talking shit to one another.
And you can decide who's who. But I really. I'm just so.
Wait, Chris. We all know you're Bucky in this relationship.
I'm Sam, dude. What the fuck?
Bro, how many times with Matt? What's the plan?
Look, that's because you don't tell me. Because you just don't tell me. But no, the trailer.
Let him lead then. Like you gotta.
That little girl beat your ass.
That doesn't trust me. That's why. But the trailer itself. Is yes, Taylor in the chat for the audio listeners, he says has a real lethal weapon vibe with superpowers, and yeah, like that's essentially what it might be. And we're introducing these different aspects of the MCU that we haven't seen before. We're seeing Zemo at his full Zemo, which is also really cool. Something I've been thinking about.
One line in that trailer, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not letting superheroes happen. These fuckers gotta go." I was like,
and you're gonna pick the two guys that like won't cause a threat to humanity. Like, like they're.
I know to go after.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's just because of I think it's just because of their ties.
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. Oh, but seeing John Walker in this U.S. agent, like they're
played by Wyatt Russell.
They're at like a football game, and Captain America's like, "Oh yeah, high five, guy," and we haven't seen his face or we haven't heard him speak.
Zemo's got a good argument coming out of WandaVision so far.
I know, dude. I'm telling you, Thanos was right this whole time, and now apparently Zemo's right too.
That's what
But this trailer it's awesome. Like it's action packed. We're seeing, like I said, we're seeing some shit that we haven't seen before, and Zemo is becoming Zemo. And at least for us folks who are within the Marvel comics, and we saw what happened in Civil War, the movie. Like Zemo's actually some cool shit. So, Lucia, what did you think while Matt's?
I mean, I'm excited. I didn't really think that. I honestly, this is gonna sound so bad. I only watched like half of it, just because I was busy and then I forgot to go back and finish it. But like, it looked, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It should be interesting. I like the dynamic between Sam and Bucky. So. And Marvel will bring what Marvel will bring. I feel like it's going to be pretty classic Marvel, so it'll be cool.
And it comes out right after WandaVision. Like once WandaVision, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, once those episodes stop, when Falcon Winter Soldier starts. So we're just
there's a 1 week break between the two, but yes.
Okay, so we get a week to cry about what just happened in WandaVision. That we read right.
And then it's like, and now, and if I remember correctly, this show is actually only about 4 or 5 episodes.
Do you know how long they are?
These ones are supposed to be about an hour long each.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 6 max or something like that. But they're going to be long.
It's interesting because I feel like you were kind of saying like the WandaVision's kind of like a 3-part movie sort of thing. Like
it's
totally. It seems like that's what the theme of Marvel.
It's
6 episodes. Yeah, like it's like the theme of how Marvel. I mean, it's like Marvel does movies so like really well. It's kind of like what they're gonna do with their shows. It's interesting. It's like prolonged.
And this is gonna be like, well, with the exception of like Ant-Man, but like we haven't seen too many real grounded MCU properties in a while. We were supposed to get Black Widow, but at this rate, we'll never see that movie. So
apparently, Marvel has 4 weeks, or Disney has 4 weeks to decide what they're going to do on that.
I mean, if they're gonna drop it in theaters in May? Good luck on that box office, brother. And apparently, I read that Kevin Feige doesn't want to do the premiere access where you could buy it for $30 at home. Granted, I would definitely pay $30 to see Black Widow, but it's not the same. It doesn't hit the same as watching it in the theater. So, but this Falcon Winter Soldier thing, it looks incredible, and the fact that we were waiting I bet we're all watching the big game, and we get the trailer for not Captain America, Falcon Winter Soldier, and they're like, "Oh, the full trailer's online." Oh, really? And then all of us except Lucia went to our social media.
I didn't watch it. No. I didn't watch it during I wasn't watching the Super Bowl. Like, that's the thing. I wasn't watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I was texting her about.
Yes,
Did you see the trailer? And she's like, "What trailer?" And I sent it to her. She's like,
"Yeah." So I watched it. I only watched the first half of what I watched is because Matt sent it to me, not because of the freaking Super Bowl. So
word. So it's raw. It's gonna be dope, and the fact that we get that the week break in between shows. Thank you, Disney, for giving us a buffer. But my God, just more of that film quality on television that Disney Plus is so good at.
Disney Plus and HBO Max are the gold standard. Or should just HBO in general, the gold standard shows.
Yeah, it's for television. Hell yeah, 1000%.
Hulu. I should say Hulu is now too. Hulu has been, because they're now primarily owned by Disney. Like, Love Victor, fantastic.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that. Like,
you have no heart.
Ouch.
That was kind of mean.
I know, right? Damn. Like, there are a lot of things I haven't seen, but I was watching.
You're just about as good.
I was watching Schitt's Creek earlier before I started watching movies again. That show's great for all those that like Schitt's Creek. Hit me up on Twitter. Let's talk Schitt's Creek. But what's next, Matthew?
Well, that's it news-wise. That's all I got news-wise.
That's all. There's quite a bit of news.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, I had to leave some time for this discussion because I know you and Chris are going to be going off right now.
Then let's chat. Then
we're going to talk about there we go. Our favorite romance films. This could be romantic comedy, romantic drama. We're just going to talk romance film, and I got 2 romance film specialists on the stream with me.
Specialist. Being called a specialist. I feel like I'm going to forget.
Hi, Jess. Whoa! Where's my love? What is this?
I love you so much.
What is this?
You're so sweet, Jess. But
hi, Jess. I like you too. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, we're talking romance movie because it is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone in the chat. Taylor. I
assumed he was still with Jess, so I'm just shocked.
Happy Valentine's Day, Jessica.
Happy Valentine's Day to Jenny. Love you, babe.
To George. Happy Valentine's Day, George. So,
you,
look, I wouldn't say we're specialists.
No.
But I don't.
Maybe I'll take that title.
When Matt told me that we were doing this, he's like, you're gonna be on the show this Sunday because you're gonna love this show's for you. I'm like, what? Like, what's the show? What? And he's like, oh, we're doing rom-coms. At first it was rom-coms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I could do that. And then we just did romance to broaden it up, and we're like, oh, okay. But I'm still doing a bunch of rom-coms and stuff.
He didn't do romance to broaden it up. He did romance so he could talk about Malcolm and Marie.
Oh, word. I mean, I did watch that for the sake of this because I knew
thought too. That was my downfall. So I won't be too knowledgeable on that one.
You didn't miss too much. I'll tell you that.
Ooh.
It's good. It's good. But you're not. You'll watch it for Zendaya and Zendaya only. I'll tell you.
Whoa! Do not besmirch the name of John David Washington like that. That was some powerful shit.
Zendaya was acting circles on that boy.
It seems like it's something else. Thank you. I love that. Thank you, Jeff.
Jessica's the best. But I mean, we can talk with Malcolm and Marie first.
Actually, that wasn't going to be the first one I brought up, so I'm gonna save that for.
So we'll shelve that conversation for later. But what was the first thing you want to bring up?
So I'm actually gonna let you go first Lucia. Ladies first.
Lucia. No. I'm a feminist. You go ahead. Chris.
Didn't even touch that and it turned on.
I'll start. So for those who obviously, I guess it was just us. I have a whole list I wrote down, so I would just pick one, and we'll go from there.
Pick a number.
I did not number these. So
you should have numbered them because that would have been a fun game.
You should have said that. I told you about the list before the show started. You should have said something.
I didn't think about it. I didn't know you didn't have a plan on that list. Okay.
A plan? I just wrote down movies I like.
Well, just give us one, Chris. Just give us one.
Palm Springs. It was my favorite movie of last year. When you are pitched, well, even when you look at Palm Springs just with no context, you wouldn't think of it as a romance movie. But when you boil it down, it's a movie about not wanting to be alone. And it's awfully deep. It's newer. I have a bunch of newer movies on my list. But Kristen Milioti and Andy Samberg are just so good in Palm Springs. They're so good. I doubt they'll get any Oscar love, which breaks my heart. Thank you, Taylor, in the chat. Palm Springs was great. Yes, it was. It was.
Yes.
It was a nice spin on the Groundhog Day trope or cliche or style of filmmaking that we've seen since Groundhog Day. Another movie that's another rom-com, another romance movie technically, but Palm Springs it's the shit. And honestly, like it's Andy Samberg's best performance in my opinion. And Kristen Milioti, I hope she's in more things because of this. So I would love to start with and she was barely in How I Met Your Mother, and
she was fantastic in what she was in. I've been a fan of her since her performance as the mother. Is my point. So I'm just agreeing with you. She needs to be in.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic, and she should be in more things. So Palm Springs. I opened the floor. The movie. I think the movie's incredible and one of the better movies of the last couple of years that I've seen.
I plead the fifth.
Have you not seen it?
Yeah.
No, I don't care for it that much.
Oh,
why don't you like it? Let's talk about
that. Why don't you like Palm Springs?
I felt like I saw it before. That's all.
Okay, but that's okay. No, that's like what rom-coms are, though. I feel like
right.
Like once you've seen one, you've seen them all, but like they're still enjoyable because it's just like a feel-good. Like this is fake life, and I wish it was like that, but let's enjoy it for the next hour and a half. Like that's what it is.
Have you
ever seen a Hallmark movie? And
they approached it differently by adding the Groundhog Day trope, which has been used in movies before, obviously, but not all of them are good. Like not all of them are great. So when you add it to something like a Palm Springs, when you add the love angle to it, like the original film that I just mentioned, like I think Kristen Milioti and Andy Samberg bring this different type of energy to it, especially Andy Samberg, especially him. Like I know he won't get any love from the Oscars for it, but I think he should. Like I thought the third act of the movie, that last like 45 minutes was stellar, and some of the best acting he's ever done. And if this movie if it didn't come out during a pandemic, I would have loved to see how it would have done in the theater, and more people got the chance to see it. Besides it going to Hulu and people forgetting about it, not too long afterwards. But Palm Springs, that's my first contribution to this. I love it. I rewatched it not too long ago.
Segue, can I go?
Please.
Yes, go ahead.
So I really, we just talked about this too. We just saw the map of tiny little things. And I think Cheddar Goblin, I'm going to assume is Taylor, just comments.
Yeah.
Like, that's a different perspective of Groundhog's Day. I thought was really interesting with Palm Springs, and similarly with the map of tiny little things, which is
Tiny Perfect Thing.
Oh, Tiny Perfect Things. Sorry, there's a Netflix show called Tiny Little Things, and I get them confused. But Tiny Perfect Things, like I really like that movie because it could have just been a cheesy attempt at Palm Springs, like a Groundhog Day thing for teenagers, like because they were in high school. But what it ended up being was like this really authentic story about grief, like. And figuring out how to like grieve the loss of someone you love. But like there still was that romance in there. So that's what I think is kind of awesome with that like retake in there. Like I personally just really connected to it. That's why I really enjoyed it. But I think that's what's interesting about rom-coms is you can do, I'm not rom-coms, I just call them all rom-coms, but like romances in general is you have the same storyline, like couple gets together or meet cute or whatever you want to call it, but then it's like you can go in different directions, and as we like progress in the world, we can use them to like redefine what love means, which is super important. So that's why I feel like they're really cool, even though like people make fun of them. Like
that's why I like rom-coms, especially the ones that take a different approach to it. Like what you said a second ago. Like once you see one, you see a lot of them, right? There's a lot of similarities. They follow the same pattern, and some just decide to break it, or they add another layer to it to make it different in its own way. Like a lot of the movies I wrote down, they have a lot of the same beats, but that's fine because something about the performances, something about the actors in it, something about the plots of it makes it different to me just enough to where I'm like, you know what, this movie's great. But that movie just came out a couple days ago, and I watched it yesterday, and it's awesome. Math of the Tiny Perfect Things on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
really good.
Sorry, I got that name botched.
No, you're fine. Matt.
Oh, we're on to me?
Yeah.
Coming to America, the first one.
Why was I thinking? I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is one of the quintessential guys out. Like, it's a guy's rom-com. That's really what it is. And if you could argue otherwise, but it's about a guy who wants to find the love of his life. He's a prince. He wants to find a woman who meets with him on an intellectual and spiritual level, and he travels to New York and finds her. So, and also real quick, just wanted to let you guys know that you're all really fucking awesome. I love Watt and everyone on the channel. Happy Valentine's Day. Special V-Day. Shout out to my love, Taylor. Love you, baby. That is from the Jessica Nieves. So.
Aww.
Well, dang, Taylor's very lucky. She seems sweet.
They're both lucky AF.
Oh, okay.
I love them.
I don't know anybody.
No, but Coming to America.
Oh,
yes, that is a great one.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No, that's a great one. I just was adding that. But yeah, but Coming to America, it is fantastic. It's funny. It hits the right emotional beats. It's got a little bit of action.
Eddie Murphy's best movie too.
Agreed. I think it is his best.
Matt's gonna get mad at me. I think that I really enjoy. I watched Coming to America recently with Matt. He made me watch it again. I haven't seen it in a while. I loved the movie, but I also did it like I just can't stop my brain from noticing these things. I don't love that he just kind of he went out there and he's like, I need to find the person that like I connect with, and then he like wrote off the woman that was supposed to marry him, which is fine, whatever. I guess he just assumed that wasn't her, and then he kind of decided he fell in love with the fast food chain heiress because like she was pretty. So I mean,
it's not because she was pretty.
Like you watch the scene happen, his eyes glaze over, he gets all dreamy eyed. He's like, oh.
But it was hearing her speak also. Like it was how she conducted herself. We got into it while watching the movie. Real quick, also from Taylor. Oh, special shout out to Jessica. I love you so much. But yeah, you can't just.
It's. I mean, that one time.
It was a bad movie. I just think there's a lot of things that in great movies that we overlook because of when they were made. They're not things like aren't necessarily the same now, and they wouldn't have.
That's a rom-com trope because how many times has it been the girl sees the guy, and it's a lot of times it's the guy sees the girl actually. But there have been plenty of rom-coms where it's the girl sees the guy and she's like, I gotta talk to him. Also, Taylor, my favorite romance movie is the Twilight Saga.
Yes.
We can talk about Twilight.
I can talk about Twilight for like 6 hours, just about how
we did it for 12 and watched all the movies.
That's amazing.
I will never forget the week of my life that was dedicated to Twilight.
And then you were upset when it was over. That was the best part.
I was distraught. I didn't know what to do with myself after that. Like I watched Twilight leading up to our stream, and then we watched them the same day. And then I did another podcast about Twilight with my friend Danielle. So it was a whole week dedicated to Twilight. I loved it so much. But I'll draw another one out there.
Dang, I want to know about what you think.
Oh, Twilight.
Yeah.
We'll talk
No,
about Twilight.
Coming to America. You never got to your point about what you thought about Coming to America.
Coming to America. Oh no, Coming to America. When I think of Coming to America, it's crazy. I don't think of it as a romance film. I obviously it's
not stretching.
It's not a stretch.
No, I get what he's saying, and I think of Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall first, and how fantastic they are, both of them. People just think about Eddie. Arsenio was just as funny, if not funnier, in that movie. Mm-hmm. So like I just want to put that out there. So that's when I think of Coming to America. But like I mentioned, it's Eddie Murphy's best movie in my opinion, and he was on fire in the '80s. Eddie Murphy was killing it.
Beverly Hills Cop,
Trading Places. What's called 48 Hours.
48 Hours. I'm not a big 48 Hours or another 48 Hours guy, but I get it.
Like he was on fire in the '80s, and Coming to America is probably to a lot of people it's his creme de la creme. It's the top of the mountain.
It's that and then Nutty Professor and then Trading Places.
Yeah, and Nutty Professor was late '90s, so Eddie was already on top of the world, and then Nutty Professor came out. So, but in regards to
Nutty Professor 2 came out and ruined his career.
That's a whole different conversation.
And Dr. Dolittle saved it. I'm just kidding.
I've seen Dr. Dolittle way more than Richard.
Dolomite is my name. Just saved it.
Yeah, Dr. Dolittle. I like that. That was good. I'll throw another one out there. We'll stay in the same era, not really decade, because mine came out in 1990. Pretty Woman.
Okay, ASG. I like that one. Nice to see you in here, by the way, ASG. We always love when you're in the chat.
Yeah. What's going on, ASG?
He says when Harry Met Sally set the standard for me. That is a great choice, actually. I didn't even think about that one.
Harry Met Sally is probably the greatest rom-com ever made. Oh my God. I've only seen it a couple times, but it's that good. Harry Met Sally set the standard for rom-coms going forward. So 1000% ASG. But to me, Pretty Woman, I watched it a few years ago for the first time, and I don't know the last time I fell in love with the movie this quickly. I watched it. I went into it blind. All I knew is that Julia Roberts was in it. I didn't even know Richard Gere was in it, so I watched it. Mm-hmm. And oh my Lord, it's like I forget what the template is and how they use it, but it's like Vivian Ward. She's out here. She's a prostitute, to put it lightly, but
she's a hooker.
She's a prostitute. She's a sex worker.
That's fine. A woman of the night, if you will.
Yes, a woman of the night, and she meets Richard Gere's character. I forget his name, but the two of them.
Edward, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, I love that movie. No, I think it is.
Yeah.
That,
Word. Okay. Cool. And just the relationship that they build throughout the movie. It's again, I wouldn't bill it a comedy. I'm not laughing my ass off watching this thing, but it has some really funny moments in it, especially with the dynamic between Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. And Julia Roberts
with 1 point on the board in the Really Trivia Showdown.
It is Edward. Fantastic.
Right, Edward, yes.
But just the relationship that they built throughout it, I think that this movie is just stellar, and people forget about Pretty Woman. Julia Roberts, she was hot on the scene when this movie came out, and this just kept elevating her star, or her would-be star, if she already wasn't one. So I love Pretty Woman. I think about it all the time. I wish I rewatched it before this.
And caused Christian Harloff to fall in love with her.
Right. And I mean, I fell in love with Julia Roberts after watching that movie.
So did I.
And there are so many iconic moments in it. And I catch myself just thinking of how charming and how delightful it is of a watch. And if you're to pitch this movie to somebody, oh, hey, it's a movie about a guy who gets a sex worker to be his girlfriend, and he offers to pay for her, and he buys her all these lavish things. It sounds like it has no heart, but it does. And it's through the performances of Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. And they obviously, the writing is just so damn good, and it's just them. The plot is them falling in love with each other, and it's fucking amazing.
All right.
I have a question.
Answer.
Okay, and this might be for another day because it could be a long-winded answer. But when you watch movies, do you watch them like everybody here? Do we watch them fully for entertainment value or like the impact and meaning?
Depends on my mood.
It's like, can you enjoy it if it's something that necessarily, it's like, it's subtle. It's not entirely, it's not, you're not trying to, they weren't trying to say something like.
First School says for connection.
Okay, but like, here's my thing. A lot, including Pretty Woman, but like a lot of romance movies, a lot of movies in general, there's just been like not the best portrayal of how relationships should be and what quote unquote love is. And it's like, but I mean, even me myself, like I struggle with this. I hate it actually, because I sit here and I'm like, oh, I love this movie. It's just like a feel good movie. But then you like watch it and you're like, that's not okay. Like, do you excuse that just because it's like you like the movie? Like, this is a general question because I think about stuff like that. I don't know.
I mean, and this kind of falls into the topic of this conversation with romance movies, because like I just got done watching Malcolm and Marie, The Map of Tiny Perfect Things, and All the Boys Always and Forever in the last 24 hours. So when I watch a movie, when I go into it, I obviously don't know what to expect. I go into it for like whatever the trailer tells me, whoever's in it, who directed it. That's how I feel going into it. But while I'm watching it, I want to care. I want to care about what's going on. If I don't care, then I'm not going to feel any type of way about it. And I know we'll get to Malcolm and Marie in a bit, but that's how I felt. I'm like, I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like it didn't give me reason to care. So a movie like, as crazy as this might sound, To All the Boys Always and Forever, I've obviously like I watched these movies, and I'm sorry, I give a shit. Like I gave a shit about this. And I'm like, damn, like, this movie made me feel.
But that's also because it's already been a series.
No, and you're correct. And this is just me in my POV. Like when I watch anything, when I watch Avengers, right? Like I care. When I watch freaking La La Land, which I'll get to in a second, like I care. You know, like
what makes you care?
It's
different every time. It's different.
It's not a movie, but I will use How I Met Your Mother as the perfect example. If I can see pieces of myself in the characters, then I care. Like I tell everyone, the reason I love How I Met Your Mother so much is because you are every single one of these characters at one point in your life. At one point, you're the horn dog that is Barney, and you just don't want to get hurt, so you're just screwing people over and sleeping around. At another point, you're Robin, who's just so just incredibly devout and to her career and wants to just keep climbing up the ladder and make a name for themselves. At one point, you're Ted, who's just this person who's a hopeless romantic waiting to find the one. And then at the end of the cycle, you are Lily and Marshall. You found that person who you connect with on so many different levels, and you can just be your complete and utter self.
Like seeing yourself in the character definitely helps, and that's definitely a reason to why I give a shit. Or like the plot, like what does the plot have to do for me? The actors and their performances, like if they, Lady Bird's another, like not saying it's a romance movie, but like that movie is driven by Saoirse Ronan, and like I was so moved by what she was, by not only the words she was saying, but how she was saying it, and I'm like, damn, like that movie lives and dies to Saoirse Ronan, and it's fantastic. So just stuff like that's what I look for. Like you have to give me reason to care, whether it is relating to what's going on, or if it makes me reflect on a part of my life, or if it makes me think big picture, or if it makes me think period. Like that's another thing I look for. And in a lot of these rom-coms or these romance flicks, like everybody can relate to something. Like when I mentioned Palm Springs, like everybody has thought about the idea of like what it's like to be alone, and whether you like it or don't like it. Or in all these, and for the most part in rom-coms, like finding the one or looking for love in general. So it's actually, that's that connection that First School in the chat said. You gotta, I feel like I have to connect to it.
First School is Jessica, by the way.
Is that on Twitch?
Yeah, that's just,
nice.
Just on Twitch. But no, yeah. Lucia, what's your next choice?
I have so many running through my head right now. And I can't
pick a number.
Pick one.
Okay, so okay, I watch movies to go to sleep, and one that I always watch because I'm just obsessed with it is or I think it's called Set It Up with Sophie and what's Powell, whatever his name is.
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell and like Lucy. Okay,
I know that was a guilty pleasure one of mine. I love Zoe.
Deutsch.
Zoe Deutsch. She's
I'm absolutely
awesome.
obsessed with that movie.
I was expecting to be utter trash. I'm like, I actually kind of enjoyed it. I watched that with my buddy Anthony Salemi, who's in Vegas right now, being an idiot. But and he on the bright side, he admits to being an idiot for going to Vegas. So
Word.
Oh, good.
But Set It Up though.
Yeah, Set It Up. I can see where that is. That's it. That was a guilty pleasure. I was shocked by that movie.
Me too. I really enjoyed it. Wait, okay. Now I want to circle around here. Have you guys seen? Probably not, but Mr. Right, Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick.
Oh no, I haven't.
It is the wildest movie. Have you seen this, Matt? No. I love this movie. It's like legit my favorite rom-com ever. It's not. That was a bad claim. I don't like to choose favorites, but it's not my favorite. I love this movie though. Sam Rockwell is like a hitman.
The Hitman movie.
He's a
so
hitman.
good.
Completely crazy.
ASG would be the one to know about this and not me. Wow.
Anna Kendrick is just like a heartbroken, also crazy, little bit of like a self-absorbed aspect in there, like dinosaur obsessed human being. I don't know. That's like a fun aspect of her relationship. But they just kind of like fall into each other, and it's just like it's really weird. There's this weird like it's not actually called this, but like there's this weird chi aspect to it. Like Sam Rockwell, like low key is magic, but I guess he's not magic. But it's not like it's like fantastical. It's so weird. It's on Netflix. She falls in love very easily. It's odd, but it's on Netflix, and it's like if you have like 2 hours, it's not that long. I just can't remember how long it is. Give it a watch because Sam Rockwell, first of all, is just funny. I just love him, so it deserves a chance. Just enjoy it.
I'll add it to my list.
Well, my next movie I'm going to choose, Chris actually kind of alluded to it, is La La Land.
Ah, damn it. My favorite movie.
Yeah, I say that as he has the pop sitting right behind him. No, La La Land, surprisingly enough, I watched that movie when I was talking to Jen, and I had already, we were just texting on the phone, and I was watching it, and I was like, oh my God, the movie just speaks to you, and it's like I'll reference my favorite show of all time, like How I Met Your Mother. It shows you that sometimes you love someone at a specific point in time because they help you realize something. They might not be the love of your life, but they're there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I get to see La La. Taylor, you are failing me right now. She loves musicals and she has yet to see La La Land. What is wrong with you, Taylor?
My heart just skipped a beat. The part we should listen.
That's from Mr. Right.
Yeah, I figured, but I was just pulling it up.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not in La La Land.
Well, actually, it was. It was in the extended cut of La La Land.
Oh, word! It's in the Chazelle cut. That's what it is.
Yeah,
but
you call yourself movie fans, Jesus.
But no, La La Land. I love the music. There are times when I'm in between, like my listening binges, like whether it be MGK or some other artist.
Okay, no.
Yeah. I just pop on the La La Land soundtrack and I just play like the first song, of course, City of Stars, and then what's the We Can Start a Fire?
Yeah,
Come on, let it burn. Okay, I just couldn't remember if that's the title of the song.
All right, Matt, sing it out.
No, I'm not singing it out.
Go ahead. It's a good song. It's a good song.
Yeah, it is a good song.
And
I bought my own copy.
No, to piggyback off of your love for La La Land, it's when people ask me my favorite movie, I give them a couple, and La La Land is one of them. Like this, it talks about the highs and lows of love, like in the highest high and the lowest of lows. Like this movie is sad as hell. Let's not get it twisted. La La Land is so upsetting and it bums me out every time I watch it. I got to be in a mood to watch La La Land, and even to listen to the soundtrack, whether it's the epilogue score that Justin Hurwitz did, and it's incredible.
Wait, what?
That's the one. I mean, I talk about George every day, but no, but La La Land's gorgeous. It's beautifully shot. It's Damien Chazelle's best movie. Sorry, Whiplash. And I really.
I don't think anyone's going to disagree with you on that.
I buy into Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, and maybe a fan of Ryan Gosling. Like I didn't.
Stupid Love. That's
wait. Crazy Stupid Love didn't make you a fan of Ryan Gosling, but that
seriously.
did.
But also, that's why you buy into them, because they really set up the romance for it there.
And it felt
especially because their first interaction is flipping each other off.
Right, and it's. I think that the story is just so well told, and it's like I mentioned, it's gorgeous to look at. Audition, that's the song that Emma Stone has towards the end of the film, is
so
heart-wrenching. Like it's oh my god. I know. I believe City of Stars won the Oscar that year for La La Land.
Audition wasn't even nominated,
and it should have been Audition. That's the best song from the. I know the studio must have pushed City of Stars. I prefer Audition.
I could live or die without Audition. But...
No, and I like storytelling. Yeah, that's I mean, I have so many. There are so many things I would like to say in regards to that, but I probably shouldn't. That's a whole different conversation for a different day. But even though Moonlight is really good, but La La Land, damn, that movie is incredible. It's so good. One of the best movies of the last few years.
All right, since Chris piggybacked off of mine, we're going back to Lucia.
Me again?
Yes.
Do I have to choose one?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is probably one of my all-time favorite movies. I think it is definitely a rom-com, but technically, I guess, I don't know, Clueless.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah. I watched that for the first time like a couple months ago, and I was like, you fall in love with your stepbrother? What is this incestual bullshit?
It's not that.
Stop. It came out in the 90s. It's okay.
It's fine. It was mid-90s. Everyone was doing it. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, it's like, I don't know why.
Sorry, I just found out why George is in Taylor's dinner conversation tonight.
No, but please talk about Clueless.
I don't know why, though. I watched it probably when I was like 6 years old. I could actually perform the entire movie for you. I won't, but I definitely could, just because of how many times I've seen it. I absolutely love it, but I hate myself.
Yeah, I know. They were living a porno. I get it.
Okay.
She had no response to that.
That was one hell of a sentence, man. Go ahead.
It's true.
It was. Anyway, it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I hate myself though, because I did not know that it was like loosely based off of like a Jane Austen novel that like recently had a remake like last year, I think, which is called Emma.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you want to talk about something that's messed up, is the relationship between like basically Paul Rudd's character and Alicia Stone's character in Emma. Like 20-year difference. She's a child. So I feel like they're doing just fine.
Yeah, Clueless. I didn't watch it. I watched it a few years ago. This is going to sound super weird. So I was at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo a few years ago, and they had
C2E2.
Yeah, C2E2, and they had a screening for this one of those nights for Clueless because Alicia Silverstone and Paul Rudd were there at the convention. So that night they had a screening for Clueless. I'm like, I've never seen this. I'm gonna go see it. So I watched it there with a bunch of folks from the convention, and we were all like laughing it up, chumming it up. And that was my first time seeing it, and I will never forget that because I'm like, yo, this movie rules.
To her parents, but yes.
So I love Clueless is freaking awesome, and Alicia Silverstone is a big reason why. Yeah, Paul Rudd's in it, and Paul Rudd looks the same now that he did in the late 90s, but still, like, Clueless holds up, surprisingly.
I also can't remember either of their names, but like the two other girls that are, Ty and her friend, her crap, I can't remember. But I also just like that whole storyline too. And also they make it really funny. Like they make it super good.
It's hysterical. No, that movie is pretty. It movie's really really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Clueless is great. That's another good one.
I saw it once. That was enough for me.
Ah, damn, Matt. It's a good one. It's a good one.
You know where I get my taste from.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, George hates everything I like. Go ahead, Matt.
My next pick is a movie I've been freaking praising as a rom-com, trying to get Chris to watch it. He could have watched it for free on Hulu for a while there, and that's Brendan Fraser's Blast from the Past.
Your computer shit itself the second you started.
Yeah, I know. I saw. No, Blast from the Past, starring Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone. Great rom-com. Love it. It's a fish out of water story rom-com, and you just eat it up. It's so funny how innocent his character is because of how he was raised. But George chimes in. The Sure Thing. Never watched The Sure Thing.
Yeah, George. I want George to be my rom-com specialist in this case. Because is that what you call us at the beginning? I want George to hit me with all his favorite rom-coms in the chat.
Cusack.
Yeah, I put down Say Anything. That's Say Anything is another great one. But Blast from the Past, although I haven't seen it, it's on my radar. I know, Matt, you want me to watch it.
You can buy it right now for $5 on Vudu, Chris.
You just said it was on Hulu, right?
It used to be. I told you to watch it when it was, and you missed it.
That was a long time ago. Like a galaxy far, far away.
I know, almost a year ago at this point. That's why I'm getting on you for it. That's why I'm getting on you for it.
One day I'll watch Blast from the Past, and you'll be the first.
You can buy it for $5 right now.
Why buy it if I can stream To All the Boys Always and Forever again?
There it is.
So I mean, Brendan Fraser, that movie's super slept on, or at least from what you're talking about. Like,
my dad loves it too,
and obviously, if George digs it, it must be freaking incredible.
It's different because the premise is he's this Brendan Fraser plays a guy who was raised in a bomb bunker his entire life because George chiming in about The Sure Thing again.
Word, I'll keep that in mind.
But so one night his parents were throwing a dinner party, and this is during the height of the Cold War, and the alarms go off. The alarms start going off, this, that, and the other. So the dad takes the pregnant mom into the bunker. And like, we won't go up there for 30 years. So they close. And so spoiler, the reason the alarms are going off is because a plane crashed and of course landed on their house. So considering they're in the bunker, a plane landed on their house. Everyone thinks they're dead.
Oh. Huh.
So
and they gotta come out of the thing.
Yeah, so he
in the chat.
Yeah, so he's raised in the bunker his entire life. The only people he's been able to have a relationship with are his parents. So he's like kind of socially inept. His parents are stuck in the 60s mindset, so he speaks proper, dresses in nice shirts and button downs and things like that. And he speaks with the 60s lingo. And then it's a couple days after his 32nd birthday. It's one of the two. And they're running out of supplies. So someone has to go up there. And he's like, I've never been up there. You guys are older. I don't want to risk this. I don't want to risk you guys getting hurt. I'll be the one to go up there. And he enlists the help of, he bumps into Alicia Silverstone's character, enlists the help of her because she stops him from getting screwed over. Because you want to know the best thing about his dad? Thank you. Cuban Missile Crisis. Thank you. The best thing, the funny thing about his dad invested in like Apple, has like all these original baseball cards from the 40s.
So they're loaded.
So they're loaded and don't even know it. So how he bumps into Alicia Silverstone's character, she works at this card shop, and he's trying to sell this baseball card, doesn't know how much it's worth, and the owner tries to undercut him.
Word.
So she just says screw it. She ends up getting fired from his job to make sure he doesn't get screwed over, and he agrees to. It's like, hey, I need this help. You just did this nice thing for me. I will pay you in baseball cards, all worth like $5,000 or more, if you help me get the supplies and everything.
And then love just blossoms from
because he seeing how he's a genuine good guy because of how he was raised. He's old fashioned, and like I said, it's a little bit of a fish out of water story because he's not used to this time period. So he's learning about what life is really like now, and she's learning that he's an actual nice guy, and they fall in love. And yeah, it's really good story. I loved it.
One of these days, Matt, I'll watch it, and you, like I said, you'll be the first person I'll tell. You'll be probably the only person I tell that I watched Blast from the Past, because you've been on my ass about it. But I don't know how many times we're gonna go around, but there's one more I for sure wanted to mention.
I got one more I want to mention, and then one overrated one. So let's go around two more times.
Okay. So there's one I won't talk about it too much because I want everyone to go see it. It's called Plus One. It's on Hulu, and it stars Jack Quaid, and I don't want to mispronounce her last name. Plus One is probably the most realistic rom-com I've ever seen. It is Maya Erskine. Either way, Plus One on Hulu. Jack Quaid, Maya Erskine. Erskine, that's what it is. And it's the most realistic rom-com I've ever seen. The plot of the movie generally is these two friends, they agree to go to all these weddings together because they lack a plus one. So they're each other's plus one to all these weddings. And then the movie pans out the way it does. But talk about the connection thing we're going with earlier. Like, it's so frustrating. Like, the best rom-coms to me are the ones where it just feels real. Like there's not that fantastical element to anything or that thing. It's like, oh no, like that would never happen. The shit that goes on in Plus One to me is just so authentic and genuine. And it's just everyone just go watch Plus One and let me know the second y'all watch it, because it's stellar. I rewatched it a couple nights ago because I wanted to get into my feelings and it put me there. So Plus One on Hulu. It's still on Hulu right now. It is fantastic. It only came out in 2019, so it's still relatively new. And like, just my God, it's great. It's so good. Like I rewatched it, and I may or may not have had dirt in my eye when I was watching it again. Because to me, it's that good. So Plus One on Hulu. Everyone go watch it. It's that good.
Lucia, you're up.
This isn't mine, but Plus One kind of sounds similar to one that came out in 2020 on Netflix called Holiday. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I heard of it, yeah.
Emma Roberts.
Bernice.
Yeah.
Big distinction between the two.
Big distinction. No, it's
they look identical, but
Julia Roberts is in the movie that I was thinking, the other movie I wanted to say. But it's very similar though, because it's kind of like, I mean, it's a little bit more fantastical, I would say, but it's basically like for the holiday season, these two people, single, they just agree to go on dates, like to family parties and stuff, so people don't get on them about being single.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar to that.
100%.
So what's one you wanted to talk about?
Okay, so I don't know how it's gonna land, but if you're America's Sweethearts, which is, speaking of John Cusack, Julia Roberts is also in it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know anything about this. So.
Also, Catherine Zeta-Jones and Billy Crystal. Like,
oh yeah, that's one hell of a cast. Holy shit!
The whole thing. So basically, what this movie is Catherine Zeta-Jones and John Cusack are like America's Sweethearts. They're like a movie. They're a couple. Both of them are actors, and they starred in like a million movies together. And then Catherine Zeta-Jones she ends up cheating on him, and he loses it. Like, drives through a restaurant, loses it, and then it's like cut to a couple years later, and what's her name? Julia Roberts and Catherine Zeta-Jones are sisters, and Julia Roberts was her assistant. And she was in love with John Cusack the whole time. So it's like they're divorced now, but they have to go do their last movie junket that was filmed a while ago. And so they basically are like tricked and like marooned off into this like desert for this junket so that they can't leave. And it's just like all this dramatic stuff, but it's funny. I enjoy it. So that's one that's on Netflix. I thought of that because I think your dad mentioned a John Cusack.
John Cusack. He mentioned the sure thing.
Yeah. So I was like, I got to say that. Oh, but yeah.
Fair. Well, my next one is a movie my family actually watches every Christmas, and it is the love story of love stories. Actually, it's Love Actually.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Wow.
That's like the most divisive romance movie like ever.
It's so good. It is so good. Granted, it's got this fugly English guy going to America and ending up in literally I laugh because like there's all these stories in the movie that are love stories, and then there's this one about this guy who's can't get a girl in England, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the US because they think we're cute just based off our accents, this, that, and the other. And his buddy's like,
fact.
He's like, you're crazy. You're still not gonna get anyone. And then he ends up in a gangbang. So like with like 3 or 4 girls. Like that's still one of the funny. He's got like the smallest story in the movie, but Colin Firth's story I love. Part of the story that's divisive, and it's probably the one I don't really care about the most, is Alan. Oh, why am I forgetting his name? It's Professor Snape.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, thank you, Alan Rickman. I forgot the last name. Alan Rickman and Emma Thompson's characters. Where he cheats on her, but granted, that's what love is. She forgave him for the betterment of the family. I was like, no, kick his ass to the curb. But like Hugh Grant's story in it, love it. Colin Firth's story, love it. Keira Knightley and Andrew Lincoln's story, it's so heartbreaking, but I love it. He's that best friend who fell in love with his best friend's girl, and he can't do anything about it as much as he wants to. Like, shit.
That is a good one.
That's just start crying and shit.
I love Love Actually.
It's like comic. That's a one word to you. I'm not the biggest fan of Love Actually.
Chris isn't a fan of Love Actually. Chris doesn't like a rom-com. What is this world coming to?
Right. I wasn't Love and Basketball. Yeah, that's another good one.
Because that sounds like a Shug choice.
Yeah, Love and Basketball. That's a good one. But Love Actually, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I gotta rewatch it. It's been a while.
We watch it every Christmas.
I watch it too, but I also get super sad because I like how they do it in the movie, but I feel like sometimes like the storylines don't necessarily play out, and I'm just like, but I don't want to watch it not to know what happens.
So that's the next movie night then, Lucia?
Love Actually?
Yes.
It's not Christmas though.
It doesn't have to be Christmas.
It's a year-round love story.
Yes.
It just happens to have a setting for Christmas.
Oh yeah, and freaking, how can I forget Liam Neeson's part with his stepson?
I actually love that.
I know, that's what I'm getting to. I love that part.
Love Actually is good because it shows all of the different levels of what it means. Like I said,
exactly.
Like you were upset about the Emma Thompson storyline, but
I understood it. I understood it.
Right, exactly. So I think it is definitely interesting.
Yes. Well, Bill Nye's song at the start, Bill Nye's song at the end. Like, there's so much to love about Love Actually. It's a Thomas
I'm
household.
a little bit surprised by this from you, Matt.
You're surprised.
Yeah, no.
How you've been here, like handling all these other classic romantic movies, like
because Matt poo-poos everything I like, because like father like son, and like Love Actually. Wow, I I want to say I knew that about the Christmas thing.
Yeah, because we talked about it when you were in town. Because you came in town a few days after Christmas.
Yeah. No. I'm not a big fan. I mean, y'all do it. Y'all do whatever you want.
But I'm talking about like you knew my family because we were talking about what we did for Christmas and all that. That's what I'm referring to.
Totally. So as we go around this one more time,
and this is your overrated rom-com.
Oh my overrated! I didn't write down any overrated.
This is your overrated one.
Wait,
I don't have. No, it doesn't. I was not told this.
Do that right now. I can't.
I said it at the beginning of this. I gave y'all time. I'll rewind and tell you.
So you gave me when the show started for what? What kind
we started this segment.
No. At the beginning.
Oh, okay. It's even better.
2 rounds ago, he was like, "We'll go around twice," but he didn't say we're gonna do the overrated one. He goes, "I have 2 left. One of them,
right.
I think."
No, I said we'll do 2 more. I said one of them will be the overrated.
No.
Yes.
You said yours was the overrated
No,
one.
because I have 2 more left that are not overrated, and I have one that's overrated. I was just talking.
If you're in the chat, and Lucia and I must have misheard.
No. I was listening because I was like, "Wow, of course he thinks it's overrated."
Right. Matt Thomas let us know the plan last minute.
Yesterday, so I get that.
It never happens. I don't have an overrated one. So
no, either.
Oh, I haven't. Brian, I'll just say mine.
Somebody said it there. I'll just do it right now. I'm not even letting the round go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean,
here I will. You guys, I'll do my overrated one real quick, and you guys can do your normal ones. Grease is overrated as all hell. I said it.
Why?
Yeah. Please explain.
I want to know why.
I've never been able to get into it. I know
why does that mean it's overrated?
Yeah, what's overrated about it?
It plays more so Grease in general because it is one of the most overdone shows. Period.
So your problem
this is me as the theater kid. Like, I don't like the movie. I don't like the stage show. I just don't like Grease. I think it's overrated. I think there's 2 good songs in it.
And they are?
Beauty School Dropout and You're the One That I Want.
Okay, so at least...
Like,
Coming from another theater kid, I don't think it's overrated. I think it's sick.
I still want him to say why it's overrated.
I'll add this to the controversial statement. I will add this to the controversial statement. I prefer Grease 2 to Grease.
Oh shit! You're one of those. Oh Jesus!
Reproduction.
And here is Lucia leaving the chat. Have a good night.
I'm following you. I'm right.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Look, okay. Okay, there's 2 things I'll say about Grease. One of them is that it ages poorly.
Yes,
the movie ages poorly, 1,000%. Because every high schooler in that thing's at least 35, and like,
love you, Shug.
Yeah, just Grease does not age well. The second thing I'll say is that Grease freaking rules. I love that movie to death. It's actually the last movie I put on my list, and it's in all caps. Yeah. Like, I love Grease so much. I watch it every so. It's great background noise for me. Like it's sentimental because I watched it with my mom all the time when I was growing up. So I love Grease. Matt ages poorly. We probably just lost like half our subs off that one. Off of Matt saying he doesn't like the movie because he doesn't like the stage production.
No, I don't like either. Is what I'm saying. It's not. I saw the stage production. I just don't care for either.
That's fine, but you don't have to say it's overrated.
Yeah, like if you said like John Bolton's
overdone, like
overplayed and overdone aren't overrated, bro. Like
when you already don't like it.
I could say, Matt, I could say How I Met Your Mother is overrated.
And people say that all the time. I'm like, okay, like Chris is basically saying. Chris is like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but you're wrong. I just say that to people who like.
Well, that's
whoa.
Ooh. See, woman doesn't necessarily age well either, and I can hear why. Like
ASG, that was one hell of a statement. When we join LGR, I don't even think Lucia knows what LGR is.
I know, I'm sorry.
We'll chat after the show, Shook. I'll hit you up. I'll speak for Lucia and myself. But I get. I mean,
Shook out here trying to steal my talent and shit.
if you're a talent, like if you, I don't like how that sentence came out. But
the talent on the network is what I'm talking about.
No, but if you don't like Grease, you don't like Grease. Okay,
that's
don't
fine.
like Grease.
Yes, that's
I'll cry about it later when I put on Grease on HBO Max because that movie is so much fun to watch. Like I totes get it ages poorly. I will say that.
You said everyone is 35. Yes, that is true.
Everyone's gross.
Everyone is like grossly old. It's fine though. That's just how they casted those movies.
Yeah, and that's how movies are made at the time, I guess. So,
yeah, I feel like it is, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Grease is awesome. I love Grease. Grease 2, I tolerate Grease 2. I tolerate Grease Live. But Grease, the film is, to me, it's one of my favorite movies ever. It's like top 20. One movie that I don't have any overrated because I wasn't told that. Obviously, Lucia and I were not told that until the beginning of this segment.
I think I don't.
So I could easily talk about Jerry Maguire. That movie's awesome. I could talk about Baby Driver.
I thought about putting that, but I'm like, it's secondarily that was my hesitation of putting it on there,
and that's why I wasn't too keen on including Baby Driver in this. I could talk about Fever Pitch, one that I think is not the best ever.
Years. Holy shit!
I watched it for the first time a few years ago, and I love Jimmy Fallon too, and I was surprised I hadn't seen it. And it's cool. Like I dig it. Picking just one though, I will go ahead and say another recommendation of mine that I think.
Yes, I know it's not.
Yo, what, Cal? You're my favorite. Cal's my best friend.
At least he has one friend.
Cal's the man. Cal's my main man. If I'm Cal's only friend, he's doing good. So the one I will say that I think is also probably another recommendation because not too many people have seen this, but Sing Street. It came out in 2016. I know I'm out here coming with the newer picks, but Sing Street, it's about a boy who is the movie set in 80s Ireland, and it's about a boy who starts a band to impress a girl. That's the movie.
So it's Liam Neeson's son's arc in Love Actually. Got it.
But done better and fleshed out. So I love.
It was pretty fleshed out.
I love Sing Street so much. The songs in there are incredible. Primarily all original music. It did make me fall in love with Duran Duran all over again. But Sing Street it's a coming of age, romance drama with some elements of comedy. And damn it, is it good? It was like La La Land was my favorite movie of 2016. Sing Street was right after that, and there are some days where I flip between the two.
Love you, ASG.
Yeah, ASG. That is fact. But no, I think this movie is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching it. That's all you should know about it. It's in the 80s, my favorite decade. It's a boy who starts a band to meet a girl. The music is fantastic. And it's just super sweet, and the performances are great. So Sing Street, a slept-on flick of the last 10 years. Go watch Sing Street. It's that damn good. That and Plus One. Go watch them, both of them.
All right, Lucia, give us a couple of your honorable mentions and your pick.
Honorable mentions, yes. Okay, so this is gonna be super cheesy, but all of the Cinderella stories, Hilary Duff, Selena Gomez,
Word.
Yeah, and yes, Sophia Carson's, okay, because. Like we said way back though, like it could be the same movie. I don't care how many times, but it's still so good.
Right. I mean, damn.
So definitely those ones. When in Rome, with Josh Duhamel. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not going to pretend to. But
Josh Duhamel.
Yeah, Josh Duhamel. Yes, that one. Princess Diaries 2. Not
Hold on, Suge. I said I like Grease too. Keep the sub for that reason.
Joe doesn't like you anymore. Stop it, Matt. Lucia, continue.
Oh, thank you so much. The last song, If You Want to Cry, with Miley Cyrus. And
word.
So sad. I mean, it's not necessarily really about the romance, but it's so sad.
What's your pick?
Watch Remember 10 Things I Hate About You. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, 10 Things I Hate About You.
I love 10 Things I Hate About You. But okay, I want to say, I guess I'll just say, I don't know, favorite, but if you guys see, oh no, I don't know, Someone Like You, Ashley Judd,
No.
Hugh Jackman.
No, I might.
Please enlighten me.
I've heard of it, I think.
Yeah, so it was like early 2000s, and it was basically like Ray.
Oh, I see. Yep, I know what this movie is. Yep.
Yeah, so Ashley Judd starts dating one of the producers on a show that she's like producing on. Finds out he's a sleazebag. Friggin' hate. And then she like moves out of her apartment and ends up moving in with Hugh Jackman, who's like the director or whatever of the show. But like, I don't know, I love it because one thing that I do like about it is that she's kind of wrong. Like, she's the main character and she kind of ends up being wrong. And Hugh Jackman, who's like this womanizer, kind of like makes her realize that and like shows her why. So I like that one.
Okay. Well, I didn't say my honorable mentions. These are the last two on my list. To close it out, my honorable mentions are Love, Simon.
I wrote that one down too.
Yeah.
And my favorite non-Star Wars movie of all time, it is newer. This is not just a story about falling in love, but falling in love with yourself. And that is Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
And that was like I said, I thought I couldn't put Baby Driver on the list. This one, because it was about how like it was about him falling for Emma Watson's character, but also them helping him falling in love with himself. I'm like, no, it's a love story on different levels.
It's romance. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Love story.
I'm like, this one fits, and it's one of the few movies that I remember my father and I both crying to at the end.
George wait, what?
He was bawling.
No, it's a power. He said dweeb.
Yeah, I'm doxing him. We were watching the award screener for this, just tears.
I think I told you I recently bought the Blu-ray for it. I have to revisit it. Like, it's been a hot second since I've seen it.
Yeah, but it is my favorite non-Star Wars film of all time.
That's some big words. High praise coming from Matt Thomas.
And
Matt, you damn, he said you will pay rent. He's gonna start charging you. So
don't give him ideas.
Before we start the show, I did mention, since I had a whole ass list and there were a bunch of movies I did not mention. I did tell y'all there's one animated movie I had on here,
yes,
which is halfway weird, but there's context. It's WALL-E, and it's not the traditional love that we see all the time in movies, but it's a story about WALL-E and Eve falling in love. They fell in love with each other.
That's a Schmodown question to remember. Eve.
Yeah, like there's a there's a love story there between the two of them, and there's a connection, obviously. So I just wanted to mention WALL-E because it's the weirdest pick that I have in my thing. And
WALL-E.
I'm not too high on the movie WALL-E. Joy to Love. There you go, ASG. Joy to Love is still real love. Just like Soul. Like Soul being weird?
I think he thought it's all weird Pixar, so just like Soul, but
oh, sure. Doesn't make it bad too. That does not make it bad.
No.
Hell yeah.
Soul's I don't like for other reasons, but Chris understands those reasons. We've had that conversation. He gets it.
I love Soul.
I know you do. Yeah, you understood why. I remember you told me. I picked you up from the airport. You were like, I let me guess. This is why you didn't like. I'm like, yep. You're like, okay, I understand that completely. I can understand how that would turn people off. I get it.
With that being said, go watch Soul if you haven't seen it.
Taylor burn in hell.
But that's Matt's. That's one of Matt's favorite Star Wars movies ever.
It's the only Star Wars movie I hate.
Hate's a strong word, but with that being said, unless we have any more romance, I think we're good. I mean, I have a bunch more, but we should probably stop for the sake of time.
Ooh, Kaluki coming in with a strong one that I forgot.
Oh, Scott Pilgrim! Yes, yes,
We'll finish this off by taking some audience choices. So Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes.
And then ASG says Deadpool.
Deadpool. Yes. Yes. Oh my god! I'm so glad y'all are mentioning the like the genre ones, really, because like there's some good. Deadpool and Scott Pilgrim are great choices. Yes. Especially, I like that Scott Pilgrim one a lot. Lord,
yes, that is a good one. But on that note, I'm pretty sure that's the show. So, oh wait, I think we got another comment coming in.
Do we have another one?
Oh wait, Cheddar. They asked about remote control. He's talking to Taylor.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Word.
So the reason George came up in dinner conversation is because they were asking the Regent about Schmodown and what's it like.
Oh,
and Jess's stepdad was like, "Oh, you mean like that MTV show Remote Control?"
Oh my God, that is Top Gun. Hell yeah. But that's one hell of a reference. Who just references remote control in their daily life?
That's his stepdad did. That was like
it's crazy as hell.
So they're like, so funny stories. But
yeah, like one of the homies' dad was on remote control on MTV.
We still have that. It's still on my computer. That's forever saved.
It's in my email.
I love it. I actually put it in one file now instead of it being the different file. So if you want that file.
Yo, I love George on TV. George is great. I love you, George. Happy Valentine's Day.
But yeah, but that's the show, everyone. So without saying anything else,
adieu, adieu. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.